What are you going to do? It's gotten, I'm going to tell you, it's so bad in terms of this weather. By the way, yesterday turned out to be pretty nice.
Yeah.
It was kind of a nice day. But as for the rest of this forecast, I'm like hoping for clouds on Saturday. Like maybe it'll be cloudy and we can get something done.
Well, that's what I did yesterday. I took advantage. And from about 12:30 to 6 o'clock, we were out until the rain came. We were doing some yard work. So. And
then, I'm playing the, I have to shut off the home shopping network. Yesterday, I was a good part of that, watching the weather forecast as we were in the mines of the Herkimer Diamonds and watching that forecast where it looked like some severe weather was coming, but was far enough away from us. And it all kind of worked out. Now, tomorrow, I'm back in the mines with Renee and Herkimer Diamonds, and they're on in London tomorrow.
London.
So
nice.
It just shows you how this the Herkimer Diamonds, how they sell unbelievably all over the world. Unbelievably popular around the world.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
All right. This morning, we will have something pretty big, I think. We'll have a chance to speak with Kaz Tangora this morning and talk about that, everything that went down yesterday with all of this.
Yeah, it's very interesting how sometimes it takes a little bit for something to take off, but once it does, oh boy, does it. So we originally reported on the story Monday morning. We had worked on it Sunday night. The investigation began for Dr. Kaz Tangora, New Hartford superintendent, Saturday evening after a parent complained about a piece of artwork that was located or discovered on public display that, had very racist imagery in it.
Yeah. So without repeating all of what that was, all of a sudden it just yesterday. The one thing that I think most people don't want to see happen is another one of these local stories. You remember when Whitesboro had all of the made it to the late night shows, all with their logo that was their logo was, I think, has it been changed?
It has been changed.
Yeah.
It was. Now they all say and they claim it was.
They were wrestling. It wasn't
match.
anything. It wasn't anything bad. They were wrestling.
And I think that was the legend, back in the day.
Yeah.
And that was the story. But the image depicted the white character choking out the Native American character.
So that went crazy. It ended up on Comedy Central or the Daily Show, or somebody covered it. And this kind of had that effect yesterday. So it is what it is. And as Kaz Tangora has said, the superintendent of schools over at New Hartford, this has got to be a teaching moment.
Well, and I got to give him a lot of credit because he's always been very transparent with us from the very beginning and had always said, I'm going to come on the show and I will get back to you as soon as I have more information. And while he did release a statement the other day, this is the day and time he chose to give us an adequate amount of time to hopefully we'll figure out the timeline of what happened. And I know he can't discuss punishment.
I do think it. Hopefully we can find out how this ended up. I think that's
the big question.
All right. Yesterday, of course, we learned about MVHS Wynn Hospital no longer doing open heart surgeries, and this is apparently a temporary stoppage, but anytime you say we're not able to do something because apparently we're not doing it up to standard, that's a problem. Well, that's not necessarily a good thing. So it was the big talk yesterday with those, and do you believe what yesterday the hospital said that when asked about financial issues, because everybody's saying they're broke, I do think that hospitals around the country are going through the same problem, and I do think COVID probably played a role in some of that. But the answer was our finances are better. and I felt it was said in kind of a reserved way. So
I think you said they were getting better.
Getting better. We're not out of the woods, but it's getting better.
Yeah.
So it just shows you that I think there's a long way to go. Here's the only other thing that I would say about it is, don't we all want this to succeed, right? We really do.
We need it to succeed.
We really all need it to succeed. The other day I had this story, and there's more out on it now. The captain of the New York City Department of Corrections at Rikers Island suffered burns and smoke inhalation when her body camera caught fire, prompting the department to stop using the equipment pending an investigation. While it is the law, it's supposed to be done. It's these lithium batteries, and they burn when they do burn. I mean, generally safe for all the lithium batteries that are out there, but when they do catch fire, it is a real bad situation, and it burns hotter than most fires. So they say the safety of our staff is paramount, which is why all body-worn cameras now are being removed from corrections officers at Rikers.
Just at Rikers, so the other ones can burn?
I believe you would. And I don't know what
was it, a recalled batch or something?
Any word on what caused the fire? But, this is strapped to a person. It catches fire. That's a real tough situation.
Oh, boy.
More college campuses with encampments, and one of them is at Syracuse right now.
Yeah, and they're refusing to leave.
Syracuse has their commencement ceremonies this weekend, and they have said, okay, it's time to go.
They're not even telling them to stop. They're telling them just move to a different location, and they're saying no.
So they're saying no, and I just don't know where we're going with this, but at Syracuse, they're going to have no choice but to call in police. I would think. I think I was expecting that to come this morning, as a matter of fact. Let me go to Ryan Schmelz, who's standing by right now, has been covering this story around the country. Anti-Israeli encampments continuing on college campuses. Craziness. Good morning, Ryan.
Hey, good morning. What a day yesterday, huh?
What a day yesterday.
Oh, boy, was it.
I mean, between this and then Marjorie Taylor Greene at the last, and I thought it was really telling when she was announcing her intentions at the podium, the boos that came down.
She got embarrassed. That's the important part.
But did she though? I think she kind of expected that. I feel like she feels she's a lone hero out there.
Well, and what's interesting too is that she is claiming that there are 11 Republicans who are voting against Speaker Johnson. But to be clear, some of those Republicans who voted no on tabling the motion to vacate did it more as a principled vote. That didn't necessarily mean that they were going to vote to vacate Speaker Johnson. We had a couple that we talked to earlier in the week and just said, well, no, we like to have the motion to vacate. We want to see, the whole point of it is for us to have a vote. I don't support the idea of tabling that. We should just have a vote. It's not because they were going to vote against Johnson. It's just because they wanted to see that thing not get tabled and go before a vote. It's more of just a matter of principle.
Yeah, symbolism. Almost to maybe send a message to the speaker to say, get your act together, quote unquote.
Well, but the majority of Republicans had no interest in this whatsoever.
Right.
Yeah, majority Democrats too. That's why you saw, I believe it was only 43 by the end of the day that voted to not table the motion, and that was mostly progressive Democrats, as well as those 11 Republicans we just mentioned. And like we said, not all of those 11 Republicans were necessarily going to vote to oust Johnson. They just believe by principle that a motion to vacate, if it's called, should not get tabled and just go before a vote. And many of them probably would have not voted to oust Johnson. Yeah.
Wow. And then on top of all of this, the encampments continuing on college campuses. This is, when Bernie Sanders comes out to say this might very well be Joe Biden's Vietnam. That was a horrible impression, by the way.
Actually, it was pretty good.
But the reality is this is just not good for Biden.
Well, I've talked to a couple of Republicans about this, and some of them view this, for lack of a better term, as a gift to former President Trump. And the reason they say that is because, Donald Trump doesn't have to tiptoe on this issue. He can be clear with his Israel stance, clear with the fact that he wants Hamas eradicated from the world, whereas President Biden has two separate wings of his party. I would say the majority of his party is still very pro-Israel, but another wing of his party is very critical of Israel, and he's going to need every single one of those votes, especially when you have a young voting bloc that is very passionate about being pro-Palestine.
Yeah.
This puts President Biden in a tough situation where he's got to tiptoe this issue, whereas Donald Trump does not.
He can serve as Monday morning quarterback here.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think that's kind of a good way to put it.
Yeah. So, all right. Very, very interesting. I do think, I keep seeing that Hamas is like, all right, we're going to send out 30 hostages. Why not offer up all of them? And we could put an end to this whole thing.
Well, let's put it this way. I wanted to ask Rashida Tlaib or Corey Bushtat, the two progressive members who are from the quote-unquote squad. I shouted that question at them after their press conference because they only took two questions, and one of the people in the crowd called me a fascist for even asking that.
Wow.
Well, come on.
Wow. All right there, fascist. We'll talk to you sometime soon. Ryan Schmelz. Again, the importance is questions need to be asked, period. And they only fascists would understand that there's a benefit to not asking questions of the people in charge. So, okay, Ryan, thank you as always.
Hey, thank you. Have a good one.
Have a great day. Ryan Schmelz with Fox News Radio, the fascist.
I love that he just is very honest and open with us
well,
about certain things.
Hey, that's what occurred. You're a fascist. Really?
Okay. Thank you.
You gotta. You want to hear what? Maybe the answer. Maybe the person that's being asked the question might want that question so they can answer it in their own way and put a little of their own finesse on it. Ultimately, questions need to be asked and answered is always nice, but we don't always get so lucky on that. We can ask
very
the questions.
Rarely,
and,
actually.
Sometimes we just don't get lucky. All right. If you've looked at the forecast, it'll be 60s today. Tomorrow, by the way, we'll be dealing with some rain through the day. Mm-hmm. Tomorrow, it'll rain heavier in the morning, and then a continuous rain will be in the afternoon. It's to the point now where we're breaking down the types of rain.
Yeah, right.
This will be heavy, but this will be heavy at times. But there will be some breaks where we'll be able to enjoy some great cloud shine. And then right now on Saturday, we're calling for a cloudy day. Now, keep in mind, the way this weather has been, this forecast could change 3 times before we get to Saturday. And it's Thursday. But right now, cloudy, mid to upper 50s. And then Sunday looks like it's about the same, right? This is just not good. Here is meteorologist. It's our first time actually talking to him this morning, as a matter of fact. Meteorologist Rich, who says, looks like rain Friday through next weekend. We might get a day off, but probably not. He says, rain Friday through next weekend without a day off. We could see 10 straight days of rain.
Well, actually, we have a correspondent in the field. If you want to pull up my,
we do.
Yep.
Okay, and
one day it started raining, and it didn't quit for 4 months. We've been through every kind of rain there is. A little bit of stinging rain, and big old fat rain. Rain that flew in sideways, but sometimes rain even seemed to come straight up from underneath.
I do like the what comes next there. The reality is Skinny rain and fat rain.
Sometimes rain just come right up from underneath.
I believe it's a thing. So, Richard, thanks for the wonderful news. Okay, quick break and we'll come back here. Much more to get to. The news from overnight that hasn't hit. Davey is going to reveal here this morning for this Thursday today's free money question of the day and how much money we're talking about when we come right back. Davey, are you ready to reveal?
Yeah, I got an idea.
Okay, all right.
He's going to tease us.
He's a bit contemplating this morning.
He's unsure.
Doing some contemplating this morning. Stand by. We'll get to Davey coming right up and find out what we're looking at. Hobica's free money question. Plus, we've been talking all week about having these throwback T-shirts, and we haven't given any away.
Well, we've had a lot of breaking news. So
it's been a busy week. Davey, just to make it easy, third caller through the lines gets to pick one of the T-shirts that they have, and it could include that anniversary, 40th, 50th, 60th, 75th anniversary.
That's
green
an awesome
T-shirt, which goes back almost 25 years.
As long as I've been here.
That shirt is so retro. It's made of wood. Actually, it's before they made shirts of wood. Now they make shirts of with bamboo, right? All right, we'll come back here and Davey will reveal. Coming up next to WIBX.
Have you or anyone you know ever lived or worked at Camp Lejeune before 1987? Camp Lejeune's water systems were contaminated by chloride from fuel leaks on the property. If you had any contact with water while at Camp Lejeune and have been diagnosed with any type of cancer or Parkinson's disease, you could be entitled to compensation. Call us today. Do not delay.
800-447-3030. 800-447-3030.
Paid for by Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Think identity theft won't happen to you? Think again. There's a new victim every 3 seconds in the U.S., over 15 million this year alone, and many don't even know they're victims. LifeLock alerts you to identity threats you could miss even when you monitor your credit. If your identity's stolen, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft, but everyone can save up to 25% their first year with my name, Clay, as the promo code at lifelock.com.
Spring into summer with massive savings from Liverpool Pool and Spa, your headquarters for summer fun. Now through Memorial Day, save up to 75% on all backyard essentials while supplies last. Shop patio furniture, pool chemicals, pool toys, floats, and games. Now through the end of May, 25-pound buckets of 3-inch chlorine tabs, regular $179, now only $99. Lowest price in Central New York. Stop by our East Dominic Street location in Rome today. And remember, don't just dream it. Live it.
Replacing your roof isn't a decision you take lightly. You want industry standards met with affordable options and a crew who knows how important a sound roof is to you and your family. That is Padula & Sons Roofing is your hometown roofers with deep roots in our community. Padula Roofers specialize in residential roofing projects. They're a GAF certified master elite roofing contractor who keeps their standards above the rest. Call 315-733-1564 to find out more about their roofs for troops mail-in rebate. That is Padula & Sons Roofing, your hometown roofers.
For the past 3 decades, the Good News Center has been committed to building relationships, better family relationships, a better relationship with God, and a better relationship with yourself. Families who have a loved one suffering from addiction can find hope in a program offered through the Good News Center called PAL. This program focuses on the family members, not the addict. Family members may feel lost, guilty, or overwhelmed by the roller coaster ride caused by substance abuse. PAL teaches family members strategies to improve their well-being while supporting their loved ones suffering from addiction. Meetings are confidential. If you or someone you know is being affected by a loved one's addiction to drugs or alcohol, we invite you to these free meetings that offer support. Please call the Good News Center to find out more about PAL or our other support groups at 315-735-6210, 315-735-6210, or visit us at thegoodnewscenter.org. The Good News Center, building relationships for 3 decades.
Rodney Atkins, June 20th, 7:30 p.m. at the Stanley Theater. Get your tickets now at the Stanley Theater box office or online at thestanley.org.
This is Keeler in the Morning. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Keeler.
Who'd you end up getting there, Dave? You got a winner out of this?
Yeah, Dale from Utica.
Dale in Utica. Hey, Dale. Which one did he take? The really retro or the retro?
I didn't really ask him.
Okay.
He didn't ask me.
There's a retrosexual shirt, which is kind of metrosexual, so it's kind of designy like, but it's retro.
It's for those who love the past.
It's for the retrosexuals out there. Is there such a thing?
There should be. I think
There
you just
should be.
coined it. You could probably make some money off that.
I'm retrosexual. Then you take somebody from, with wearing something like a peace, love, and pride. Peace, love, and pride. I'm retrosexual. There you go. Make the shirt.
When I get that feeling, I want retro healing.
Here is, I have a bunch of other comments I've not gotten to, but let me give you this one. My husband, Jim, is an avid listener of your show. He always mentions what you say as the gospel. Well, Jim's a smart guy.
He is, yeah.
LOL, she says. Case in point, we started watching the Netflix show Baby Reindeer because there was a lot of buzz on your show about it. Wow, it is hard to believe that it is a true story, and the main character is that naive to keep running into these psychopaths. We are on episode 4. Bizarre to say the least, but we'll keep watching. The Gentleman was also great, but just ended and not sure if it will continue. I completely agree. I said to my wife on The Gentleman, like, this can't be the last episode. And she's like, yeah, it is. It's the last episode.
I've gone down the rabbit hole.
Oh, no.
I started watching this show last night. I'm in episode number 2.
Baby Reindeer?
Yeah.
Oh,
you guys are
boy.
talking about it.
Yeah.
I've gone down the rabbit hole.
Wait till Santa comes in and tells the baby reindeer he can't play in any more reindeer games. And then Donner comes in, and it turns into a whole thing.
And the guy's cousin says he wants to be a dentist and, calls him a freak.
I want to be a dentist.
You're a freak.
Jill, thank you. And to me, I only can describe Baby Reindeer as disturbing and unbelievable, but it is very indicative. I think this is a true story. And you find that people who are abused, you wonder, why do you keep going back? Right?
Well, that's the ultimate question.
It is the ultimate question, and oftentimes this is a story. This is what I think is very interesting. Oftentimes it's a story about a woman, right? The woman keeps going back. Why didn't you report it? You hear this all the time when dealing with women.
Yeah.
By the way, there's one episode that is disturbing. It's rape filled, and
yeah, you have to be careful about it.
But we find ourselves in the world asking the question, how come you didn't report it earlier? Why did you wait? Why didn't you tell anybody? Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Why did you do this? Why did you stay with him? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It seems like it's an age-old thing. But I think that in this case, you saw someone, at least in the eyes of the author, who plays himself.
Yeah, which I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that watching the show, and I only realized it after when we were talking about it on the air that was the actual guy. But there's a lot of different situations and topics that are relevant to today that were.
Well, my takeaway from the whole thing is, if you've not been through it, then
you don't
know.
Have room to talk.
You really just don't know.
Well, and it's also anybody that ever said that about any of the Weinstein victims. There's an example right there.
And you know what's being said right now? What's being said right now is, what's his name from House of Cards, who I loved, Kevin Spacey.
Oh yeah, right.
And now, do you know there's I think it's a documentary coming out. It's like 10 guys, maybe 5. I read this the other day. And they're all coming out and telling how Kevin Spacey ruined their lives.
Wow.
So that's not, while he, if you remember, over across the pond, he was found to be not guilty.
Yeah, right. He was acquitted.
So
that doesn't really bode well for him, though, in the world of public opinion and working again.
Let's see. The Gaza story provides good examples. This comes from Dick in Deerfield. Did you read this one yet?
No, I have not.
Good examples of news reporting perspectives. Many outlets call the student protests pro-Palestinian. Fox uses the term anti-Israel. CNN headline this week, Biden condemns anti-Semitism. Fox headline, Biden struggles to address anti-Semitism. Where you get your news matters. You are absolutely right, and it seems like we're going to a place that we agree with, or that we want to be true. And you're right. Every day you can turn on a certain network, and it's going to be the Trump trial. And they're going to be following the Trump trial 24/7. But you can go to another network that's still talking, like Fox. You go to Fox, and they're on Hunter Biden. So what is the real news? I do think that you got to really go through a lot of outlets, and then you got to judge from there. You got to do it yourself.
I just don't know that any of the major ones anymore are truly impartial. I mean, some may attempt to be, but
well, I think there's
some bias.
There are
in all of
many journalists, there are many news people that still exist out there where you can get a fair story. But remember, most of what you're watching on cable TV
is for money.
But most of it's opinion. Almost all of it is opinion.
They give a quick story, and then it's like, all right, let's have these people give their opinion.
Right, let's bring in 5 people, and we'll go from there. I don't know. Somebody's asking, what was the outcome of the Apple announcement the other day? And I think they have a new chip,
iPad, right?
And there's a new iPad.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, I was just busy the whole day. I didn't get a chance to see it. I haven't seen it yet, which is rare for me. But luckily, we have Mike and Skyler who has seen it. And here he is. Mike, good morning. What in a nutshell, so that the people who don't like Apple are not completely bothered by this, because the two of us could go on forever. What happened? What is this new iPad? What makes it new? Is it a new chip?
Oh, absolutely. And it actually made me realize, too, my iPad's older than I thought, because I got my latest iPad after 2020, but I think it was from 2017.
Okay, so stop right there for a second. Stop right there. Yeah. This is what we do as Apple lovers. Mm-hmm. And it's a cycle. It's vicious. So you buy a brand new iPad in 2020, and now in 2024, they've come out with a new one, and you say, boy, I got to tell you something. I think my iPad is slow. You know why? Why? Because it's a 2017, and I bought it in 2020. Right. I'm gonna have to get a new one. So here we are.
The one I got had introduced the M1 chip. That was like the big chip. Well, apparently the new iPad, the one that's coming out, is it's actually the M2 came out after that. I never got that, but they're actually going to M4.
M4 now, I saw that. Yeah.
So basically, it'll make the next iPad will be 10 times faster than the current one that I have right now.
And if I could, for somebody that's I really work my computer, and it does make a big difference. Speed does make a difference, a big difference, especially if you're editing video, and because you're dealing with gigabytes as opposed to megabytes. And if your computer's not fast enough, it just won't operate it. So this M1 chip, the M2 chip, I think I have the M2 in my computer. Yours
is newer than mine.
It is.
The computer. How about the iPad, though?
My iPad's old. I have an old iPad. Oh. Literally, I have the old whatever they had in it before. So.
Oh, before M1.
Yeah.
Oh, so
I believe there's inside. There's some guy riding a little bike that generates the energy. But it's probably the version just before the M1 came out.
And then space-wise, you can get as big as 1 terabyte.
On an iPad. Can you imagine that?
iPad?
On an iPad.
On the iPad.
Wow. And here's the other thing that's nice about...
if you don't do what you do, that's a lot.
Well, you have a lot of photos.
And then people are taking video nowadays.
But here's the other thing with this, Mike, with the new iPad, you can put a hard drive on it. You can do an external hard drive. And actually, with the old iPad, you can do it as well. So that is, like the other day, we were trying to watch something. My wife and I were out of town trying to watch something, and my computer went dead. And I was playing it off a thumb drive. So I just got a converter and put it on the iPad, and we watched the whole thing. So it's nice that you can do that now. You didn't used to be able to. So.
Yeah, my current iPad is 256 too, so I'm probably not going to go to terabyte when I go. I mean,
how much is it? How much is a terabyte?
They only tell you the introduction price, but I know you figure you take that, you add $100 for each.
Yeah. All right, good stuff, man. Mike, have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Well, what's the introductory price?
What is the introductory price?
They had the iPad Air and they had the iPad Pro.
Right.
So they had introductions. Yeah. I'm going to say, I think probably $600-700. You probably have to look at camera.
Yeah, I'll check it out. Okay, cool. Thank you. Did I mention we have rain in the forecast for the next 10 days?
Ugh.
This is terrible. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm not going to talk about it. Let's see. Another Tesla. Let me start over. Another Tesla idiot stuck his finger into his Cybertruck's frunk. What is this? I saw this the other day. Somebody had done this.
A fake trunk?
So earlier in the week, audio of a guy testing the Tesla Cybertruck frunk. That's a front trunk lid with his finger. So smashing down. Why would somebody do this stuff? Are clicks worth that much money? Davey, answer that. You seem to have the answer.
Yeah, you're a TikTok star.
I ain't no TikTok star because you know what I just said? Because they're stupid idiots.
Because they're stupid idiots. How much money we giving away with Mike's free money question?
$100.
Oh,
that's it?
The build-up for that?
How about $2? It's Thursday. People are disappointed. It's been raining.
I know.
A little light.
Should be at least $200.
Beyond the clouds.
Okay, $200.
$200. $200 today. 27-year-old guy in California is facing charges after threatening to kill a surgeon who he claims gave him near constant diarrhea.
The surgeon did? Oh, my gosh.
He has ulcerative colitis.
Yeah, ulcerative colitis.
A painful condition that affects the bowels, and his colon was removed to help him with the condition. Here's Robert McDougall talking on YouTube, making threats against the doctor, which is probably not a good idea. And do I have audio?
His whole colon was removed?
I think so.
Your face and hurting you. Jared is the one. You, Jared, are the one. This was the course of my life. The course of my treatment for my ulcerative colitis. I'm about to try Stellaire and
All right, I'm done with that guy.
All righty.
California woman and 4 young children found a big box full
Can they remove
of...
his voice box?
Could we? Yeah. Instead of the colon, take the voice box. A California woman and 4 young children found a big box full of marijuana. A woman turned down by police when she tried to bring it to the station. She was turned down by police. She tried to turn it in.
You keep it.
19 hours later, an officer knocked on her door and told her to just throw away the evidence. Throw it away. Here's Erica De La Rosa breaking down what she says happened.
They told me that it would be hours before an officer came out and asked if I could bring it down to the station. The fact that I told them I have a trunk full of drugs in my car right outside the police station, why that wasn't concerning to them, I don't know. When it comes to drugs and children, that needs to be taken very seriously.
Doesn't she know where she lives? I mean, it's like there's no form of illegality in California when it comes to marijuana anymore.
No, there isn't. And then this hit me hard, and I don't know how to react to it, but it bugs me. This young punk on TikTok has a strong theory on how to tell if someone is young or old.
Ooh.
Are you ready? If you send text messages and you use your index finger, you are old. That's what this punk says.
You've done that as long as I've known you, though.
I always do it.
Yeah.
It's because that's how we started out.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not going to use a stylus. I'm going to use my finger, my index finger.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently we were around for the beginning of all this texting. And for that reason, they're saying that that you must be old. Do you want to hear this punk's audio? Here it is, right here.
Anyone that's using swipe to text, most likely millennial, possibly Gen Z. Anyone that's able to type fast and accurately with one hand, we're going to say probably preteen to age 25. You'll kind of stay at this thumb tapping age until I'd say 50s. Then you're going to start adding in your index finger unnecessarily. Age 65 plus is where you start doing the one finger tap, holding with your left hand or your right hand. You're getting up there when you're doing that.
Yeah, okay. You know what I think? You know what I think about you? This is what I think about you.
You idiots!
Sorry. Listen, next hour, $200 on the line for her Bike is Free Money question of the day on WIBX. We'll do that coming up. And
Ready to hit the road with confidence this summer? Look no further than Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair.
Attention local business owners. Are you struggling to get noticed online? Want to attract more local customers and grow your business? Town Square Interactive can help your business get found online and reach more customers locally. We are currently scheduling one-on-one consultations with our digital marketing experts May 13th through May 17th. Call 315-768-9500 to reserve your spot today. Let Town Square Interactive bring your local business to the next level. Call 315-768-9500. 315-768-9500.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
President Biden puts his foot down. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. He says that the Israeli military launches a full-scale military assault in Rafah in southern Gaza. He will withhold more shipments of large American bombs and artillery shells that he says could kill civilians in urban neighborhoods. The decision is criticized by some Republicans in Congress and politicians there.
Hamas heart Biden, a pithy post on the social media platform X from Israel's far-right national security minister, Itamar Ben-Gvir, responding to President Biden's warning that weapons supplies will be partly stopped if there's a full-scale assault on Rafah in southern Gaza. That's something Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu believes is essential to completely defeat Hamas. Israel's UN ambassador says if President Biden goes through with his threat, it'll have a big impact on the war. Hundreds of thousands of Palestinians have sought refuge in Rafah. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
Stormy Daniels expected back on the stand for a second day of testimony at former President Trump's criminal hush money trial in New York. The former adult film star was paid to keep quiet about a one-night stand he says never happened a few months after his wife Melania had their son Barron. And now Barron is making his official political debut.
The 18-year-old was selected to serve as a Florida delegate to the Republican National Convention that takes place in Wisconsin this summer. Barron Trump is graduating from high school next week. He will join other Trump family members already in the Florida delegation, including Donald Trump Jr., Eric Trump, and Trump's youngest daughter, Tiffany. They'll all be gathering at the convention in Milwaukee from July 15th through July 18th. It's where former President Donald Trump is expected to be officially nominated as the 2024 GOP presidential candidate. Sue Guzman, Fox News.
There's a tornado watch in Georgia, North Carolina, and Tennessee. At least 4 people have died in storms since Monday. More than 250,000 homes and businesses are without power. America's listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code MONTHFREE by May 31st. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
A Boeing 737 skids off the runway at the airport in Dakar, Senegal. At least 10 people reported to be hurt are taken to a hospital. The other 69, including crew, are taken to a hotel. 2023, a record-breaking year for renewable energy sources.
30% of global electricity last year was generated from renewable energy, according to a report released by the London think tank Ember. As the number of solar and wind farms continues to grow, the group says solar made up the biggest share of new clean energy last year, with more than twice as much solar power added as coal power. Ember says China added more renewable energy than any other country last year, but it also says China was also responsible for 55% of coal generation globally, and 60% of China's electricity came from coal. Lisa Lacera, Fox News.
A former MGM casino executive is sentenced in a bookmaking money laundering case.
A U.S. district judge sentencing Scott Sabella to a year of probation and a fine of $9,500. The 61-year-old, who was president of the MGM Grand Casino in Las Vegas from August of 2017 to February of 2019, pleaded guilty to violating federal anti-money laundering rules, admitting to knowing that a visitor of the casino was running an illegal bookmaking business. The judge noting he took responsibility for his actions and cooperated with law enforcement. The sentencing comes a little over a week after the Nevada Gaming Control Board filed a complaint against Sabella with the state's Gaming Commission, which could lead to hefty fines and his state gambling license being revoked or suspended. Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
Playoff basketball, the Knicks win 130-121 to take a 2-0 series lead over the Pacers in their NBA Eastern Conference Series semifinal. Hockey, the Panthers beat the Bruins 6-1, tying their round 2 series a game apiece. There was a multiplayer brawl and 136 penalty minutes handed out in the third period alone there. The Canucks beat the Oilers 5-4 in game 1 of their series. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News.
Good morning, WIBX 950 News Time 7:05. I'm Andrew Domenio. Well, it's cloudy, gray, miserable, probably 50-something degrees. That's tough to give a forecast. 48 degrees, sorry. Your full weather forecast is coming up. Tough to give a forecast when it's that depressing. This update brought to you by Adirondack Home Furniture. Deliberations are scheduled to resume today in the murder trial of Jesse Outley. The jury spent hours yesterday trying to decide if Outley pulled the trigger in a drive-by shooting that took the life of 11-month-old Dior Harris on Grant Avenue in Syracuse more than 3 years ago. 2 other children were also wounded but ended up surviving. Prosecutors say the evidence is clear. Outley is guilty, but his lawyers don't believe that's the case. If convicted, Outley faces 25 years to life in prison. It was a heated night in New Hartford when residents widely opposed the construction of a Best Western hotel in the village. At a public hearing Tuesday night, residents raised concerns over how the hotel would impact home values and impact traffic on the already heavily traveled Campion Road. A few residents vouched for the hotel and said it would benefit the local economy. The hotel would be 4 stories and have 95 rooms in addition to a dining area and retail space. Locals pushed to have the hotel be put to a public vote. No decisions about the hotel were made at the meeting.
How many houses are over there?
There's none.
Listen, what I would say to these people, stop what you're doing right now and start complaining about the parking lot at New Hartford Shopping Center. All right? What in the hell are you doing? Give me a break.
Yeah.
That is what you should focus your attention on. You have if you're worried about your property values, you should be worried about the parking lot at the New Hartford Shopping Center and the hundreds and hundreds of people who've gone missing in those gigantic potholes.
I could tell you right now,
it's unbelievable how bad that parking lot is. And then the front, where it's actually paved for the most part, it's like the Wild West. You go this way, I go that way. The lines are faded. The whole
we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. And let me just tell you something.
God almighty.
A brand new hotel where an abandoned building was is not going to impact the property values in New Hartford.
You know who's going to benefit are all those little shops along right there in. They'll all be benefiting
right in the village.
Everything from Cavallo's to One Jenny to Daylight Donuts is right there, and then all the little shops and places. Mm-hmm. Those are the places that will benefit.
No one's going to say, well, I'm not going to move to the Village or I'm not going to move to the town of New Hartford because there's a Best Western there.
Well, down where there used to be a concrete plant. Oh, my Lord. Just keep moving on.
Anyway.
Don't tell me these stories.
Sorry.
Keep me away from the news. Keep me away, for God's sakes.
I'm trying. New York Governor Kathy Hochul says she regrets making an offhand remark that suggested black children in the Bronx do not know what the word computer means. She made the comment while at a business conference in California. The gaffe drew immediate criticism from some political leaders.
See, there you go
in
again.
New York.
Having stories right in front of my face. What is she thinking?
She apparently made the comment to address social inequality when it comes to communities of color accessing artificial intelligence. Hochul apologized, saying she misspoke and regrets what she said.
Today, Tangora will be in to explain the comments by Governor Kathy Hochul.
No, we won't do that to him. And finally, the union representing custodians at Columbia University is suing the school after protesters took over one of the buildings last week. The Transport Workers Union says the school did not protect their workers and waited too long to call the NYPD to clear protesters from Hamilton Hall. Head of the union, John Samuelson, says 2 custodians were held against their will, and the university was aware that outside agitators were present. There's no comment from Columbia on the lawsuit. WIBX 950 news time is 7:09. Your weather forecast is brought to you by IBEW NECA 43 local contractors. For today, we can expect clouds, maybe a few rain showers, but mostly clouds. Highs in the low to mid-60s. Chance of rain overnight. Cloudy skies with a low in the upper 40s. Then rain tomorrow. The high will only be about 57. Yuck. Right now we're at 48 degrees under cloudy skies. WIBX 950 news time 7:10. Full 5-day forecast at WIBX950.com. Sports brought to you by IBEW NECA 43 local contractors. The Yankees got it done yesterday and in a big way as they beat the Astros yet again. The final score 9-4 in the Bronx. Carlos Rodon earned his 3rd win of the season after striking out 7 and allowing 2 runs over 6 1/3 innings. Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, and Giancarlo Stanton each went deep for the Bronx Bombers. Giancarlo Stanton, they had an interesting stat. Since they started keeping track of this stuff, for exit velocity home runs, 118 miles an hour or more, since 2015, Giancarlo Stanton has had 7. The rest of the major leagues, 6.
And that home run from last night, still flying in the air.
Yeah, it was a rocket. And New York is now leading the AL East. They're back on top again. Above the Orioles. 25-13 is the record. They'll wrap up the 3-game series tonight at Yankee Stadium. A weird start time, 5:05. The Mets, well, they were unable to complete their sweep because, unfortunately, the game was postponed due to inclement weather around Busch Stadium. That game will be made up on Monday, August 5th in St. Louis. New York is currently 3rd in the NL East at 18-18. They'll begin a 3-game set against the Braves tomorrow night at Citi Field. The Knicks, meanwhile, extended their lead over the Pacers 2-0 in the East semifinals. Jalen Brunson had an off night, scoring 29 points. OG Anunoby and Dante DiVincenzo made up the difference, scoring 28 points apiece. Josh Hart recorded a double-double with 19 points and a game-high 15 rebounds. They'll look to take a commanding series lead when they visit the Pacers for Game 3 tomorrow night at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. And the Jets are making changes to their performance department. According to ESPN, 3 experts that were hired to lead the department are no longer with the organization. Former Director of High Performance, Brad DeWeese, along with Assistant Director of High Performance, Robert Sossaman, and Director of Sports Science, Matthew Sams, have all left the organization. The 3 departures were not performance-related. If you want to become a foster parent with the House of the Good Shepherd, you can help many children in our area. The need is great. Last year, the House of the Good Shepherd's foster care program helped 630 children, but they are still in need. And foster parents can be anyone from single-parent families, blended families, same-sex partners, empty nesters, or those who may not be able to have biological children on their own. You just have to be 21 years of age or older. And the best part about this is you will have all the support you need from the fine folks at the House of the Good Shepherd. We have a step-by-step process online, WIBX950.com. Just click the CNY Online Job Fair, where you can find out all you need to do to become a foster parent. And if you want to make a positive difference in a child's life, you can do so. You won't anticipate the positive changes it brings to your life until you explore it for yourself. So you can go to uticafostercare.com or just click on the CNY Online Job Fair at WIBX950.com, and you'll be able to make a difference not only in a child's life, but your own as well.
So this is the year that those students who didn't get to graduate high school walked the stage in high school.
From
Remember,
COVID,
everybody was doing everything they could. We did TV shows. They did outdoor stuff. I mean, everybody was trying to figure out a way to get off of graduation. And now some of these kids are not going to be able to graduate college and have a commencement ceremony because of these protesters. But,
that is nuts.
I got to say, in nearby Syracuse, I just think the university, when you're talking to a kid, a toddler, and you say, if you do that one more time, and then you don't do anything, you're lessening the effectiveness of your threat. Mm-hmm. So yesterday they said, we're giving you to the protesters, where you guys are, we need to put up tents for commencement, and we need you to leave. We're giving you 30 minutes. So guess what? It's this morning, then they're still there.
Yeah.
And what happened after 30 minutes? If you do that one more time, I'm going to take that away. One more time. That's it. Okay, I'm going to take it away. You do that one more time.
Don't you do that.
Oh, my God, you listen to that. It's like, pull the trigger, for God's sakes. Do something. And that's where they are right now, dealing with these kids the same way their parents dealt with them when they were 3. And that's how the school is handling it. I don't know what they're going to do. They're going to have to call in police. How are they going to pull off commencement on Saturday? I would assume it's Saturday. How do they pull that off?
Do they usually do it at the Dome, but there's also events surrounding that?
I have no idea. I've never been to a Syracuse graduation.
All they have to do is cut ties with all Israeli academic institutions,
if
and then they'll leave.
If you follow our demands, then we'll leave.
Unbelievable.
Well, I think that it's time to make them leave. This is getting ridiculous. And by the way, it's Thursday. I don't know what you're planning on doing. It's Thursday. Coming up, Monica Heaton is a longtime financial services expert, and she says Americans are, this is happening, are using blank to pay for their everyday needs.
Groceries, gas, everything.
And it's credit cards. We'll get to that story coming up in a second. Hold on. Habakkuk's free money question of the day later in the hour. And this morning, the superintendent of schools, Kaz Tangora, will do a lengthy, we should have 15 minutes with him to be able to sit down and chat about everything going on with this latest art show situation, which has now gone viral. It's a new story for a lot of people around the country. And some are like livid over it, like some were here. Many people are livid over it. We'll get to Kaz coming up right after the free money question, which this morning Davey says is worth $200. It's coming up at WIBX.
Scott and Jill here from New York Sash with a trivia question for you. How long do you think it takes in weeks to train a bath and shower installer to be 100% ready to tackle a project by themselves?
It's an important question because a lot of companies just hire random independent contractors to install their bathrooms. And usually they're plumbers or handymen, and they may not know the ins and outs of bathroom remodeling, which means, well, they're going to make mistakes.
At New York Sash, our installers are actual employees. We put them through a rigorous training program where they apprentice with a master craftsman for 60 weeks.
60. So when they show up to install your new bath or shower, it's going to be perfect. It takes 60 weeks, but it's worth it.
Call New York Sash now and get 15% off windows, doors, or bathrooms, plus low APR financing. 315-624-7344 or online at newyorksash.com.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
Hi, this is Rob Hilton of Hilton Estate and Elder Law with important information that you should know about planning for nursing home care. Well, the best way, of course, is to plan ahead. The key is to make sure that you make decisions far ahead of the time that you need a nursing home. Getting the basic pieces in place, including power of attorney, healthcare proxy, will, trust, all those things, and working closely with your family to make sure you're organized and ready to go in case the worst happens. You should also know there are strategies you can employ, even if you currently have a loved one in a nursing home. When there's a crisis and someone's entered a nursing home, there are things we can do to act very quickly to protect some of the assets. It really does require that an elder law attorney be involved because the techniques that are used are very technical in nature. To find out more about strategies to protect your loved ones through proper estate planning, contact us at Hilton Estate and Elder Law. Call for more information and to schedule an in-person meeting to answer your questions.
Hilton, you know the name, they know the law. Hilton Estate and Elder Law.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Hey, I want to tell you some of the things going on in Herkimer County. Explore the Herkimer Diamond Mines, where I was yesterday, and it's very interesting to watch people who are mining in the mines for Herkimer Diamonds.
Oh, yeah.
And then watching as the TV show was there. It was like a little studio audience or a mine-filled audience. Thought that was kind of interesting. Taste Herkimer cheese. Have you ever had one of those Herkimer cheese balls? And there's
it's like the shredded cheese?
Nuts. No, it's a ball, and it's almost like pub cheese.
Yeah, I think
but it's round, and it's been rolled in nuts.
Yeah,
and
I think
then
I know
you
what
just,
we're talking about. We're talking about the same thing, I think.
And you can slice it. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
very, very good. That's made in Herkimer. It's been made there for many, many years. Take a boat tour along the historic Erie Canal, and the list goes on. If you have an item that you'd like to advertise, contact the Herkimer County Development Facebook page, and they will assist you. I just want to go through some things that are going on quickly, and then I'll move on. Paddle Fest is just around the corner in Old Forge. May 17th to the 19th. The Mountain Men Outdoor Supply Company's premier paddling event, rain or shine. Expect rain, right? The way things have been going. It's ideal. It's an ideal excuse to retreat to Old Forge and experience everything Herkimer County has to offer. Amazing hiking, fishing, shopping, dining, and more. And on June 8th, Town Square Media and WIBX present the world's largest yard sale. 8 a.m. until everything is gone. Saturday, June the 8th. So that's just around the corner.
That's exciting.
Farmers market season opening up. The food truck stuff opening up. It is happening in Herkimer County. It's happening in Herkimer
There's
County.
a lot of stuff happening there.
Monica Heaton is a financial expert. She's been doing this for a long time, and she's seen this before. People are using credit cards to pay their daily expenses. She is on the line right now. Monica, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. This is not a good habit.
No, it's not. Definitely not.
So what are you seeing? What are you seeing?
What I'm seeing is a lot of people are getting wrapped up in I want to kind of call it the sexiness of the credit cards. They're starting to use them more, thinking that they can go out and get one of those 0% credit cards to then pay off their other current debt. And then they decide to charge it up because they're not really managing the overall problem that they're having when they're using their credit cards.
You got to kind of be really disciplined, right?
Yeah, and those 0% credit cards, there's a lot of fine print when it comes to that.
There is a lot of fine print with that. Yes, definitely.
However, it is nice to be able to say, I'm not going to pay any interest for the rest of the year on this debt, this amount. But what you're saying, Monica, is you got to be disciplined with it. Otherwise, at the end of the year, you're going to have an interest rate, and it's going to be expensive, and you've gained nothing.
That's correct. Yes. What I've actually seen, unfortunately, is people go get these cards. They pay off their other cards. They don't cut the other cards, and then they still, because they haven't controlled their spending habits, they haven't created a budget, they haven't disciplined where they're putting their money, they end up charging again on the other card, and they don't pay off the 0%, and now you've got double debt.
Yeah. So, what do you, obviously your suggestion is don't do this, cut up the credit card, and bring that debt down. You'll be in a better place when it's all said and done.
Yes, I think we need to go back to old school where it's pen and paper. What I found is that if people actually wrote out their spending habits just for 1 month, they would be pleasantly surprised where their money went to. And if they were to be able to put that budget together, look at their spending habits, then they could see what they can cut and use that additional money and start paying off some of these credit cards that maybe have low balances.
Monica, I realize you've been doing this for over 30 years, but I'm going to disagree with you. Do you mind? I mean, I just want to be honest.
Do you have a choice?
I don't know if I mind that, but that's all right. I'll allow it.
Here we go. You said you said they and we will be pleasantly surprised. I think we're going to be shocked.
I did it at the beginning of the year.
It is going to make you sick to your stomach, Monica.
When I did it at the beginning of the year and I looked at all of my monthly expenses, I said, oh my gosh, what was I thinking?
I know.
And I went on a cancel spree.
Yeah. And now he's back, Monica. No need to worry.
Well, I'm sure whatever coffee he's drinking or wherever he went to eat out is probably very glad to have him back.
Yes.
Right.
All right. Where can people go? Do you have something they can go to assist here?
I would recommend that wherever they're either located, that they speak to either a financial advisor to really sit down, even their tax preparer, to help them design that budget.
Mm-hmm.
And really, and then have accountability partners, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have that at the gym. We have it in other areas of our life. Have that accountability partner that they can check in, sort of a coach.
All right.
That makes sure that they continue on that path.
All right, good stuff. Traditionally, guys like to say women and their spending habits. The reality is, I'll bet you find this, men and women are probably equal offenders when it comes to this.
Yes, it really is not gender specific. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
Especially in the age of Amazon.
Okay, Monica, right. And the other part of this that makes it so difficult is it's a click away. Your finger, it's just one click away.
That's at the door.
Okay, Monica, have a wonderful day. Thank you.
You too. Thank you very much.
Okay,
bye-bye.
thanks. On the line, can I keep it going here?
Yeah, please.
I'm just rolling this morning.
Roll on 18-wheeler.
Tanya J. Powers standing by from Fox News Radio. I have an amazing story. Tanya, good morning.
Good morning. I love the Alabama shout-out. That was nice.
You're welcome.
I didn't even recognize that.
Roll on 18-wheeler.
Roll on.
Come on.
Yeah. How about you'll recognize this one, Tanya? Maybe someday I'm going to climb that mountain.
Absolutely.
Remember that one?
Kidding?
Yeah, that was my early days of working in country radio. What is going on in America? I cannot believe the story you have this morning. Wow.
Which one?
Well, it's the Boy Scout story. You're right.
There's a few of them.
I have two of them, and they are basically the audio versions of clickbait. So we're going to start with the Boy Scouts story first. And it came out a couple of days ago that the Boy Scouts of America said they're rebranding as Scouting America. They're dropping the boy part of the Boy Scouts' name. This, of course, comes after a really rough several years.
Yeah.
And we'll get into why in just a second. But when you go to their website, there's a pop-up on the very front that says, starting next February, they're going to officially be known as, Scouting America. And they said in their press release, because there's also a press release that takes you to where you can read about why. It says it reflects the organization's ongoing commitment to welcome every youth and family in America to experience the benefits of scouting. It starts officially on February 8th of next year. That's the group's 115th anniversary. That's the reason for the date. So that's kind of in a nutshell what's going on here.
So I initially had thought, maybe I'm just old, but I initially had thought that because they have had a problem with Girl Scouts, where Boy Scouts are accepting Girl Scouts, and they've actually been marketing to young ladies to join Boy Scouts. And, the Girl Scouts are like, what are you doing? This is our territory.
You're killing us.
This is our gender. But then beyond today, with today's world of transgender and who identifies in what way, this is much bigger than that, right? It's big.
Well, I mean, I don't think it has to do necessarily, as far as what they're saying on its face, it doesn't really have anything to do with the transgender part. They've actually welcomed girls into the Boy Scouts as of the last, I think, 5 years.
Yeah. I
Yeah, most of their pictures on the website have girls on it.
Do they really? Wow.
Yeah. There's more than 176,000 girls and young women across the Boy Scouting program, and about 6,000 have earned the rank of Eagle Scout. This is according to their own numbers.
Wow.
So it's been this way for a while. Of course, the last several years have been really, rough for the Boy Scouts, because in 2020 is when you started seeing, all these allegations of sexual abuse in the Scouts. 84,000 people came forward.
Wow.
And said they were sexually abused. Some of those claims went back to the 60s. Yeah, I think people know that it was a headline, but not that it was that.
I did not realize it was 84,000.
Yeah, and it resulted in a historic $850 million settlement with those victims. They had to go into Chapter 11 bankruptcy. It's been like I said, it's been a rough several years for the organization. So this rebranding may kind of set them on a new footing and sort of to go forward.
All right, what's your second story?
My second story is
this is a
that
doozy.
the maker of the Swiss Army knife is coming out with a bladeless product. Now, before everybody fires up their computer and gets to Facebook
knife.
so they can scream, they're not doing away with the knives, y'all.
Okay.
Everybody stay calm. They're just coming out with a different product that does not have the knife, the blades on it. And they matter of fact, the CEO of the company that makes Swiss Army knives was doing an interview. It was translated from German last week, and said that, it pointed out that in certain Asian countries or in England, you can't, the ability to carry a pocket knife is very restricted. When you go into schools, into movies, to shopping or whatever, there's a lot of restrictions around carrying pocket knives. If you needed to do your job or to go outdoors, then sometimes that's the only time you're allowed to carry one in some places.
Yeah.
So they've come out with a different tool now that they're working on that doesn't have blades. They also pointed out that they've already got one kind of like this for golfers. It's a bladeless pocket tool for golfers. This one would be kind of like for cyclists. As the CEO put it. But yeah, matter of fact, the UK law only allows you to carry a knife in public if the blade folds and it's less than 3 inches long.
Wow.
There are some exceptions for work and, like I said, cultural and religious reasons apparently, but it's a new tool that they're working on. They're not doing away with the blades of the Swiss Army knife. Just to be clear.
Okay. Well, the Swiss, they like to keep everybody happy.
Very peaceful.
They're very peaceful. So.
And loaded.
All right. Good stuff, Tanya. And it is funny how the headline reads, and just depending on where your mind is, your headline reads, "What's happening in America?" Now, that could be, "What's happening in America?"
Yeah.
It could also be, "What is happening in America?"
Yeah. I just, for the record, I don't write those. Just to let you know.
Okay.
That is not part of my job. So.
Well,
all right, we'll yell at Tara.
Don't let them give you that task, because they try to do that. They do it here all the time. Here's a new task for you. Okay, Tanya, have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Tanya J. Powers from Fox News. Mind if I keep it rolling? Because we have the free money question.
Roll on,
coming up
Wheeler.
in a moment, Kaz Tangora, superintendent of schools at New Hartford, coming on for us to sit down and ask some questions and get through all of this. As he has said, this needs to be a teachable moment for some,
Agreed.
maybe for many. Okay, Sergeant Mike Burgess on the line right now with the United Police Department, and it is time for the Crime Stoppers, Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers Wanted Person of the Week. And good morning, Mike Burgess. Good morning, Sergeant.
Good morning, Bill. How are you?
Good. Who are we looking for today? This person is well known enough to have a nickname, I believe.
Yeah, so, I mean, I can't tell you what's going on in America, but I can tell you that out here in Oneida, we are looking for this fine gentleman by the name of Sean Kendrew, also well known as Sarge, believed to be in the Verona area, possibly towards Verona Beach. And he does have a warrant out of the Oneida City Court for burglary in the 3rd degree, criminal possession of a controlled substance in the 4th degree, which would have been a quantity of methamphetamine, and criminal possession of a controlled substance in the 7th degree, and petty larceny. And this is all stemming from an incident that occurred in August of 2023 at the Walmart store in the city of Oneida.
Okay, it's funny how crime and drugs seem to go hand in hand with these
it's kind of
things, right?
sad.
And repeat offense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, what is a great tool for Oneida Police and for agencies around the area is Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers, which you can report something anonymously, 100%. Never do you have to even give your name, and report that information. And ultimately, if there is an arrest, there's a chance at a cash reward out there as well. So I'm assuming, Mike, this Crime Stoppers is a great tool for police agencies.
Oh, for sure. We have had great success with our partnership with Crime Stoppers and identifying crime and criminals, and there have definitely been some cash rewards handed out.
There definitely have been, no doubt. All right, Mike, thank you. Sergeant, have a wonderful day, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right, Sergeant Mike Burgess with the United Police Department. That's full story, along with description, photo, everything up there on our website at WIBX950.com. Coming up, we'll speak with Kaz Tangora, Superintendent of Schools at New Hartford. Davey, you are looking for caller number what?
First off, I just want to say breaking news from the Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
John Murphy is stepping down as play-by-play announcer.
Really? Wow.
Because he had a heart attack, remember, in the middle.
Yeah.
But he's still going to leave the door open. Leave the door open to maybe come back and do a couple games.
Okay, all right. Who do they probably have not announced who's going to take it?
It's probably going to be Chris Brown, the man that's been filling in for him.
Yep.
I love listening to Chris Brown.
Yeah, he's good.
I love John Murphy, though.
Okay, a little
let's go with caller number 8.
Breaking news. 8th caller through the lines, your chance to win. And let's throw in one of those retro T-shirts, too, no matter what happens. But it's $200 on the line, $200. Your chance to win right now. 8th caller at 315-736-0186. Call right now to win from WIBX.
Step into the magic of the 2024 Glimmer Glass Festival, where summer comes alive with the finest in opera and musical theater.
The Glimmer Glass Festival is a world-class summer celebration of the arts nestled on the banks of beautiful Otsego Lake, just minutes from Cooperstown, making it an easy day trip from anywhere in the Mohawk Valley.
This year's festival runs from July 22nd through August 20th and invites you to immerse yourself in myth, mystery, and adventure with productions that explore the connection between identity and illusion.
From the timeless hilarity of Gilbert and Sullivan's The Pirates of Penzance to the gripping drama of Pagliacci.
Celestial escapades of La Callisto and intriguing mystery of Elizabeth Cree. Experience the magic firsthand.
The Glimmer Glass Festival, a highlight of your summer experiences in the Cooperstown region. Hiking, kayaking, picnicking, and world-class opera and musical theater. Just a short drive from anywhere in the Mohawk Valley.
Visit glimmerglass.org to purchase tickets and to learn more about this year's festival. Then join us and see for yourself why there's
no place quite like Glimmerglass.
Ferris commercial mowers set the bar with racing-inspired patented full suspension and integrated cutting decks so you can go faster, cut better, and not get beat up. Ferris Experience Suspension. Take advantage of the best financing and prices of the year. Visit us at whitesfarmsupply.com.
We're the power in power equipment. White's Farm Supply.
Welcome to New York's newest hospital, the Wynn Hospital. Nationally recognized programs for heart and stroke care, sophisticated and innovative treatments and intervention by renowned medical experts, all while providing education in the community to prevent disease. The Wynn Hospital, inspiring better health with a commitment to our community. This is for you. At MVHS, our team members fell in love with care long ago. Their lives were changed, and their world has been expanding ever since. In respect, compassion, knowledge, and ability. And it's only just begun. Because fueling the future of care starts here at the Wynn Hospital. Local care on a whole new level. The Wynn Hospital. Unwavering commitment and compassion. Learn more at mvhealthsystem.org. This is for you.
Saturday, May 11th, the Rome Capitol Theater presents CNY On Stage Live. Join host Sydney Irving and her band The Mojo, American Idol contestant Ethan Harris, plus comedians, dance groups, a magician, and more. CNY On Stage Live, Saturday, May 11th, 7 p.m. at the Rome Capitol Theater.
Tickets available at romecapital.com. Brought to you by the Rapke Law Firm, Tarduno Dental Office, and the Tucker family.
Ready to hit the road with confidence this summer? Look no further than Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, your one-stop shop for top-quality tires at unbeatable prices. At Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, we believe that safety and savings go hand in hand. That's why we offer the best prices up front on top brands including Summit, Nokian, Bridgestone, and more. With Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, you'll drive away with peace of mind and money in your pocket. Locations in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, and online at tallmanstire.com.
Have you or anyone you know ever lived or worked at Camp Lejeune before 1987? Camp Lejeune's water systems were contaminated by chloride from fuel leaks on the property. If you had any contact with water while at Camp Lejeune and have been diagnosed with any type of cancer or Parkinson's disease, you could be entitled to compensation. Call us today. Do not delay.
800-447-3030. 800-447-3030.
Paid for by Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Spring into summer with massive savings from Liverpool Pool and Spa, your headquarters for summer fun. Now through Memorial Day, save up to 75% on all backyard essentials while supplies last. Shop patio furniture, pool chemicals, pool toys, floats, and games. Now through the end of May, 25-pound buckets of 3-inch chlorine tabs, regular $179, now only $99. Lowest price in Central New York. Stop by our East Dominic Street location in Rome today. And remember, don't just dream it. Live it.
Replacing your roof isn't a decision you take lightly. You want industry standards met with affordable options and a crew who knows how important a sound roof is to you and your family. Dennis Padula & Sons Roofing is your hometown roofers with deep roots in our community. Padula Roofers specialize in residential roofing projects. They're a GAF certified master elite roofing contractor who keeps their standards above the rest. Call 315-733-1564 to find out more about their roofs for troops mail-in rebate. Dennis Padula & Sons Roofing, your hometown roofers.
Paid for by government.com.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 50 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-973-3077, and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-973-3077. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-973-3077 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-973-3077.
Hey, you know, I got to say, it doesn't feel like summer is coming, but it is. It is. Record heat in the south. Up here, we're just living with what we're living with. But it's coming. The heat is coming, and Collis wants to make sure you're ready. Fred F. Collis & Sons Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. They want to stress the fact that obviously cooling and insulation plays a huge role in keeping your home cool. You want to keep that cooler air in, and Collis has you covered. For a limited time, Carrier Cool Cash spring rebates are back to help you save hundreds to thousands on Carrier heating, cooling, and indoor air quality equipment installed by Fred F. Collis & Sons. If you're in need of insulation, they've done that for years as well, and they can help. Free estimates. And right now, there's the free home energy assessment, which goes on all the time. You could take advantage of having an expert come in, an HVAC expert that will look at your home and really give you a complete report on where you're losing money. They are actually hiring right now. Take advantage of that as well at Fred F. Collis & Sons. You can visit them in Yorkville, Rome, or Syracuse, or call them 315-860-1301 or online 24/7, fredfcollis.com.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, let's do Hobica's free money question of the day, and then we'll get to Kaz Tangora, who is in studio here this morning from New Hartford Central School. Tim is on the line right now, ready to take a shot at Hobica's dough this morning. $200 is on the line. Tim, good morning.
Good morning, William. I will not call you Bill. I have an aversion to bills this time of the year after paying the tax man.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Excellent point.
My wife simply just believes that bills and me just are synonymous. So, yeah, she feels your pain.
Tell the umpire, highly recommend you. In spite of that, I'll still speak to you.
Okay. All right. Well, we appreciate that. All right, let's take a shot at Hobica's free money question of the day. It's worth $200, and I think you might be able to pull this off. Andrew, are you ready?
Always.
All right, 7 seconds. Get an answer in. Here is your question. Bob Murphy was the play-by-play announcer for what team? Ready, go.
Oh, 6, 5. How about the Buffalo Bills?
You're going to go with the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, that's what I expected probably would happen with this question. Davey, you're shaking your head with anger in there. What's your problem?
The Mets.
Yeah, Bob Murphy was the play-by-play announcer for the Mets. John Murphy from the Buffalo Bills just said that. This is a trick question. That was mean.
That was mean.
That was very mean.
It was $200.
$200 question there. Not good. We're going to give you the all-in-one food and fun card. It's $25 gift card, plus one of our throwback T-shirts we'll throw your way as well, all right?
Thank you, sir.
I'm sorry, Tim.
Just give Davey your size.
That was trickery. All right, stand by, and Davey will take care of you. That was a mean
that was
question.
That was very mean.
Because Davey just announced that John Murphy has retired from the Buffalo Bills. In studio right now, I don't know. Are you thinking about retirement at this point? You do turn 55 next year, so you will be eligible.
You'll be eligible, right?
Just when you think things are smoothly, kind of, in a bumpy way, moving along, this happens. All right, and of course, the story over the last 24 hours has gone viral. It's not good for any of us. It's not a good look for anybody that lives in our area. What's your take on all of this after your investigation?
So we still have a little bit of work to do, but here are the facts as I know them. An assignment was given to students in the fall to develop a product and come up with a way to market it. And they pitched the idea to the teacher in the class. And once it's approved, they go on and then create the marketing materials.
Yeah, yeah.
So the idea was to create this cereal, and that would be focused on nutrition and help people be athletics. And actually, at the time, its inception had nothing to do with a basketball player or sports or anything. But the idea to, okay, I'm gonna create this new product, the cereal.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so it gets approved, and then towards the end, at some point, it was recommended that, hey, why don't you put like a basketball player on this or something? And so that's how it happened.
Okay.
Right. So and that's where everybody it came from. At that time, would have been a great time to have a conversation to say, well, let's talk about why this is inappropriate.
Right.
And have an opportunity to explain to everyone, what we're going to do, and let's do something different.
Yeah.
I think that would have been great, but that didn't
happen. Yeah.
Right. So
a teacher did follow through on this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to get right. So let's just cut to
I'll
the
let you
chase,
go.
right?
Okay.
So obviously I'm not going to talk a lot about the student or what's going to happen to the teacher, but we have now identified. It appears that one person is responsible, but one adult is responsible for this oversight. So obviously that's going to be dealt with, right? But the bigger issue, in my opinion, is what are we going to do?
Yeah.
Right. About changing the culture so these things don't happen. We've been working with
You have a commission, like a committee.
We have a committee, and we have a contract with a consultant from Utica University. So we've been engaged in the work.
Yeah.
But we clearly have a long way to go. And I say that all the time. Conversations are one thing.
Yeah.
But until we have changed policies and practices that are culturally responsive, that give teachers the freedom to have conversations, difficult conversations, we're not going to get there. I've heard from several alum, graduates, students of color who have said, listen, my experience in the New Hartford Central School District from an academic standpoint was phenomenal. Prepared me for college in ways that I doubt I would have been prepared if I went to other schools.
Yeah.
However,
I heard this very same thing. I was shocked to hear this.
As a person of color, I've had to, be subjected to not only microaggressions throughout my time there, but really aggressive, offensive, blatant language. And, I would be walking down the hall and someone would yell the N-word out. And
really?
Yeah. And this was 2 or 3 people in the last 24 hours, 40 hours have shared their experience with me.
Wow.
And nothing happened.
Yeah.
And so that's an issue, right? And we have to be able to address that in a way that now I've also heard from people say, well, that wasn't my experience. Well, that's great.
Yes.
But if one person is meant to feel unsafe, if one person is meant to feel other than, if one person, one family doesn't feel they're part of the community, we have work to do.
Right.
And that sometimes makes people who only had a good experience feel a bit threatened at first.
Yeah.
Bill, you and I grew up in the Valley, and
yes.
I had a Valley experience, and I was much older in my life when I came to terms with my privilege. Now, people would say, hey, anyone who grew up in Pleasant Avenue, Herkimer probably didn't have much privilege. Well, you really have to start having that conversation about, how your life was compared to the lives of other, especially non-white men, right? White men have had a different experience than most other people. Not everyone agrees with that. So we have to start to have uncomfortable conversations to confront our implicit bias and be able to engage in these conversations in a civil way, and know when to walk away when we get upset. So I think as a result, the contract that we have with our DEI consultant is going to increase. We may engage with other consultants as well. But the work that we're going to need to do around additional work around sensitivity training is clear. having said that, I am not painting with a broad brush,
Right.
Wonderful faculty and staff that care deeply about children and, would never, allow something like this to happen. And so I don't want people to think that, oh my God, what's going on over there at New Hartford. But we are, the other criticism I've heard in the past couple of days is, oh, you're just sweeping this under the rug. Well, this is the most public sweeping of under the rug that's taken place.
And it got very public in the last 24 hours.
You're right. But I addressed it immediately in a public way. I'm here to talk to you. I've been in other media outlets.
I have to say, when Andrew's the one that followed this story, and you've been nothing but.
And we appreciate it.
Available for us.
I think, again, it gets back to the people who want to talk about, well, what are you going to do to the kid or what are you going to do to the teacher are missing the point.
Right.
Also, what was it this student's intention? I clearly believe it was not. But that's not the point. Right?
Exactly.
Our intentions are meaningless. And when we offend someone as a individual or as an organization, then we have to do the work that's necessary to find common ground and heal.
Are you I guess I was first of all, it's interesting that you had said you've spoken to 3 or 4 students. For the record, this is not my wife. She's in elementary, and you don't see those things. You really don't see those things in elementary school, I don't believe.
Right.
But I spoke with, and maybe you do. I spoke with someone who's a friend who is in the high school who said this is one of the big discipline problems they have to deal with all the time is race issues between people, minorities, and kids who are white, and they deal with it all the time at New Hartford.
Yeah, I don't think this is a situation specific to New Hartford. Right, I've worked in several school districts, and this is a societal issue. It's not a school issue either. It's the problem is you can't discipline ideas out of a student or out of an adult, right? You change ideas and you change perceptions by having conversations over and over and over again. That's not to say there aren't consequences for our actions. That's different. But we're never going to change people's behaviors and change people's ideas by, punishing them.
Right.
It has to be through some form of education. And some people take offense by the fact that I use this teachable moment. Right. And who is it that I'm trying to teach? Everybody.
Yeah.
We're a school. We teach. It's a teachable moment.
Yeah,
right.
Not only students and not only our faculty, but families and the community. Because
100%.
this is a community issue that needs to be addressed.
Are you surprised at the number of people that didn't see anything wrong with it? Because that to me was very surprising.
Yes.
Because it seemed just so obvious when I saw it. I'm like,
as soon as it was sent to us.
One person brought it to my attention. One person brought it to my attention.
And at a show where
public
hundreds
display.
of people.
Hundreds of people, right?
Yeah.
So,
so we got a lot of comments and stuff, but one of the things that we did tell Mr. Policelli that we would mention pressuring or trying to, I don't want to use the word pressure, but trying to motivate New Hartford to be more proactive in hiring
teachers of color.
I'm glad you brought that up. Right. So there aren't any faculty or administrators that are not white, right? In the New Hartford Central School District. And in other districts where I've worked, we've had the conversation, hey, what are we going to do to promote diversity? Well, the first thing we need to do is change the culture. We can probably go and recruit teachers of color, but are we going to be able to retain them if we don't change our practices and our policies? So I've been in districts where I've been able to recruit teachers of color, but they have not stayed because the culture that they've come into was not the welcoming environment that they thought it was going to be. Yeah. And they didn't feel as if they were home. I've had these conversations with people who've had a similar experience. I really do want, and without offending anyone.
Yeah.
Right? Good luck with this, right? But without offending anyone, just kind of confront some of the issues that are real, and how are we going to find common ground to get where we need to go? Because you can't call people out in this work. We have to call people in, call people together. And I think what we all agree is that we don't want any one child or any one person to feel as if they don't belong, regardless of any sexual orientation, gender identity, race, religion.
There's a lot to consider.
There's
today.
a lot going on, right?
Yeah.
And I apologize, the analogy of eating ice cream.
That was Mark Montgomery. That was really good.
I was like, man, that is what we're trying to do. Right?
Yeah.
He's a good person.
Actually would be
I'm
somebody.
I'm going to reach out to him.
You should definitely reach out to him. He's a former radio guy, believe it or not. He went the right way, and look at
voice.
me. All right. So wrapping this all up, this has just, I'm assuming, taken you and everybody by storm, and the goal is to walk away from this better?
If we can't walk away from the situation as being better as a school district, better as a community, and better as individuals, then we've allowed this to just be swept under the rug. Right? That's my definition of sweeping it under the rug.
And I had told somebody, and forgive me, when you do your doctorate, you pick a topic. Inclusion has been a big part of your educational career, whether you were at SED or can you talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, I was a special education teacher when inclusion was, all the rage. And so the concept hasn't been lost. I mean, my dissertation was on school district reorganization, but I've been involved in the DEI movement for quite some time. I'm a member of the New York State Superintendent's Commission on Diversity and Inclusivity. When I was the superintendent in the Niskayuna Central School District, we were one of the first districts outside of the Big Five, if not the first, to create a chief equity officer, because we need people from the outside to work with us. We're not equipped to do this.
I appreciate you coming on. We have a hard break we're about to hit. And Kaz Tangora, I'm assuming a lot of work to do.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. We have news straight ahead. If you missed part of this, we'll post it later on after the show.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
Hamas loves Biden. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. That post on social media from Israel's national security minister after President Biden says he'll suspend more shipments of some American weapons if the Israeli military launches a full-scale invasion of the city of Rafah in Gaza, where more than 1 million displaced Palestinians are jammed in.
I've made it clear to Bibi and the War Cabinet, they're not going to get our support if, in fact, they go in these population centers.
The president on CNN, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, says it's necessary to enter Rafah to take out the Hamas terrorists there. The House votes 359 to 43 to save House Speaker Mike Johnson's job.
The attempt to oust the Speaker came from Georgia Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene, who believes Johnson has failed to push a conservative agenda.
So while selfish members of Congress are complaining about chaos, the American people are going broke. The American people are sick of their crime-infested cities.
43 voted against killing the motion, including 11 Republicans. Former President Trump released a statement saying he opposed ousting Johnson.
That's Fox's Ryan Schmelz on Capitol Hill. Former President Trump's criminal hush money trials back in session this morning after a day off.
Adult film star Stormy Daniels is set to be back in a Manhattan courtroom to undergo more cross-examination after testifying for almost 5 hours on Tuesday. She gave descriptions of an alleged 2006 sexual encounter with former President Trump, who was accused of falsifying business records to cover up a $130,000 hush money payment made to Daniels to keep her quiet before the 2016 election. The former president has denied her claims and has pleaded not guilty. In New York City, Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
2 people are killed in storms in Tennessee, 1 in North Carolina.
Yet another day of extreme weather. Today's risk stretches from the southern plains to the Mississippi and Tennessee River valleys over parts of the southeast and up into the mid-Atlantic.
Fox meteorologist Janice Dean. America's listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code MONTHFREE by May 31st. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Biden administration is preparing new rules allowing for the rapid rejection of some migrants' asylum claims, days or hours instead of months or years. Some other asylum claims could be fast-tracked. The president flies to San Francisco later this afternoon, attending 2 campaign receptions in the Bay Area tomorrow. He had a fundraiser in Chicago last night after events in Wisconsin.
President Biden visited Gateway Technical College in Racine, Wisconsin, where Microsoft announced its decision to build a $3.3 billion data center in Racine that it says will create over 2,000 jobs.
My Investing in America agenda is fueling historic boom and rebuilding our roads and bridges, developing and deploying clean energy, revitalizing American manufacturing, and so much more.
The stop, a counter to former President Trump's 2 recent visits to Wisconsin, in which he hammered President Biden's economic record, including high inflation. Vice President Kamala Harris returns to Wisconsin next week, a battleground state that was won in 2016 and 2020 by less than a 1% margin. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
Fresh from his inauguration, Russian President Vladimir Putin presides over one of the most important days on the Russian calendar.
Final rehearsals in Moscow for the annual Victory Day parade. It commemorates the defeat of Nazi Germany in the Second World War, but Russians will also reflect on the current war, officially a special military operation in Ukraine. That's despite President Putin barely mentioning it in his inauguration speech 2 days ago. Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu says the Victory Day parade will involve over 9,000 troops plus 70 weapon systems and aircraft, a fraction of the vast military force involved in the invasion. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
Former President Trump's youngest son, Barron, is chosen as a Florida delegate to the Republican National Convention. He's 18 and graduates from high school next week. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News.
Good morning, WIBX 950 News Time, 8:05. I'm Andrew Derminio. Are we at 50 degrees yet? Let's check. We have cloudy skies and 50 degrees exactly. Your full weather forecast is coming up. This update brought to you by John's Mobile Home Parts and Accessories in Oriskany Falls. For all your mobile home needs, it's worth a trip. Visit johnsmobilehomeparts.com for more information. Rome police are cracking down on reckless ATV and dirt bike operators after numerous city residents complained. In South Rome, officers pulled over a 14-year-old boy operating an unregistered moped and a separate 14-year-old boy for operating a dirt bike on city streets. The child was turned over to his father. 2 hours later, officers pulled the gentleman over for driving dirt bikes on city streets, and he attempted to flee. When fleeing, the foot peg of his bike cut into an officer's leg, and it required stitches. The gentleman was charged with felony second-degree assault and other violations. Police also cited a Utica man, Danlo Dunoff, for riding an ATV on city streets. All vehicles were impounded. Residents of Ilion may soon see discolored water coming from the tap, and Mayor John Stevens says it's due to a water main project. The project involves opening and closing valves throughout the village's water system. The mayor said, until further notice, residents should run their cold water before using water from the tap. By allowing the water to run, he said it will help clean the pipes. The mayor added, due to the size of the project, it is unknown which areas in the village will experience discolored water. Officials at Syracuse University are telling students at a pro-Palestinian encampment that they need to move. Letters were given out yesterday asking protesters to shift the encampment from Shaw Quad to an outdoor space near the Life Sciences Complex or the Women's Building Field so tents can be set up for commencement. But the students are refusing to budge, meaning they're now in violation of the code of conduct. Protesters are calling for SU to cut ties with all Israeli academic institutions. And the New York State Department of Health says the spread of the flu is no longer prevalent across the Empire State. As a result, the requirement that healthcare workers who are not vaccinated against the virus wear a mask to prevent the spread of the illness has been lifted. The latest data from the flu tracker shows there have been over 395,000 confirmed cases of the virus in the last several months. People who are not feeling well are still urged to stay home from work or school. It is 8:07. Your weather forecast is brought to you by Adirondack Home Furniture. Your weather forecast for today calling for cloudy skies, highs in the lower 60s. Chance of showers, maybe some rain overnight, cloudy with a low around 48. Tomorrow, more rain with a high in the upper 50s. Right now, we're at 50 degrees exactly under cloudy skies. Get the full 5-day forecast anytime at WIBX950.com or with the free WIBX 950 mobile app. Sports brought to you by IBEW NECA 43 local contractors. The New York Yankees got it done, beating the Astros by a final score of 9-4 in the Bronx. Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, and Giancarlo Stanton each went deep for the Bronx Bombers. New York is now leading the AL East at 25-13. They'll wrap up their 3-game series tonight at Yankee Stadium. The game starts at 5:05. The Rangers are hoping to stay red hot. The Blue Shirts have won each of their first 6 postseason games, entering tonight's Game 3 against the Carolina Hurricanes at PNC Arena. Meanwhile, the Mets and Cardinals, back to baseball, were unable to play their series finale after Wednesday's game was postponed due to inclement weather at Busch Stadium. The game will be made up Monday, August 5th in St. Louis. New York is currently third in the NL East at 18-18. They'll begin a 3-game set against the Braves tomorrow night at Citi Field. The Knicks extended their lead over the Pacers 2-0 in the East semifinals. New York topped Indiana 130-121 in Game 2 at Madison Square Garden. Jalen Brunson had an off night, scoring 29 points. OG Anunoby and Dante DiVincenzo scored 28 points apiece. New York will look to take a commanding series lead when they visit the Pacers in Game 3 tomorrow night at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Finally, the Jets are making changes to their performance department. According to ESPN, 3 experts that were hired to lead the department are no longer with the organization. That's the former director of high performance, assistant director of high performance, and director of sports science. The departures were not performance related. ReviveUtica.com will get you healed the natural way. If you're done with the pain pills and you're sick of the pain injections, maybe you want to put off surgery a little longer, Revive Softwave Therapy can help. They're an FDA-cleared, non-invasive, and drug-free treatment for chronic pain, inflammation, and joint issues. Whether you're struggling with neck, back, knee, wrist, arthritis, shoulder, or foot and ankle pain like I was, give them a try. 315-725-8427. That's 315-725-8427. You can get in touch with them by going to their website as well, ReviveUtica.com. And if you mention the Keeler Show, you'll get a significant discount, part of Discovery Days, on your initial consultation and first treatment. So be like the Lakers, the Guardians, the Steelers, the Nets, the Giants, and the Cubs, and Team USA, and try Softwave Therapy. It just may be the help you're looking for to finally naturally heal your pain. Revive Softwave Therapy on Genesee Street in Utica. Let the healing begin with Revive Softwave Therapy. ReviveUtica.com.
All right. We will post that full interview of Kaz Tangora later. Also, people asking that didn't hear Mark Montgomery and also
Jawad Rashid.
They were both excellent the other day. We'll post both of those interviews as well for you to check out. But I thought personally, and I listen, I know Kaz from the Valley. You know, Herkimer County, there's things happening in Herkimer County.
Small town.
We come from the same place. But I got to say that I just thought he's making no excuses, and he's focused on what a teacher has to focus on, right?
Correct.
You got to focus on somehow trying to plow forward and learn from all of this. and prevent it from happening again. I thought he handled it very, very well. All right, what do you have? Let's go through some comments, and then we'll break.
Yeah, we have a lot of comments to get to, so we're just going to kind of lightning round these here. Deeds in New Hartford saying he is way too happy about this. I don't really think he was happy. I just think that's his energy, but you have your opinion there, Deeds.
He's not happy about this.
Yeah. I don't know anybody
I
that
don't
would
know
be.
how that would come off, but he's very animated, but not happy. It would be the opposite.
Britt in Utica, we aren't missing the point. The district very clearly is missing the larger, more broad picture. Maybe it's time for more unconscious bias training for your staff. This further perpetuates the New Hartford is better than everyone else stereotype that the rest of the community feels. This is incredibly disheartening to this entire community we live in. The whole situation is crazy to think about. In 2024, a teacher or other adults in a school don't see problems with this, with one of the most diverse communities on the state right next door to you in Utica.
I do not know how, and this should not be obviously I'm a bit biased because my wife teaches there. But I don't know how, because there are a lot of good, most everyone, they're just very, very great teachers and caring people, caring about children. But, and like any other place, people, there are various people in every workplace. So I don't know. All I can tell you is I just don't know how this didn't get caught. I mean, I glanced at it. Everyone that I have shown it to for opinion, other than a couple, immediately were shocked. So I do not know how
dismayed.
You wouldn't be able to see it. All right, some more. Sorry.
This is another person who doesn't want to be named. So glad he has finally exonerated the child. He should have done this with his first communication to the public, and maybe the parents.
Well, he didn't know. I don't think he knew at that point.
Right. Maybe the parents would not be threatening a lawsuit. Yes, he is retiring in March, so he is trying to minimize everything without the thought of the child that could destroy him for life. I think that was part of another comment. Basically, they were saying that this shouldn't be on the child, that it should be more on the teacher.
Yeah. But if we're not bringing up our kids by junior high, by elementary school, to understand something like this, then we as parents are making a mistake. And I'm not putting it on the kid. I'm just saying we should be teaching our own. Don't rely on the schools to do all the teaching. A lot of stuff comes from right at home. So, okay.
John in Bridgewater.
How a junior high kid would not know there's something that's got to be from home.
Yeah, I mean, unless race is not discussed at all.
Ever, and you don't, and okay. And the other part is I also can relate to this kid where you're constantly you're told you got to add something. And he probably doesn't like art. I don't know. We have no idea on this kid at all.
Right.
But he may not like art. And maybe he would just wanted to get this assignment done and kept being given something. And finally he finds this picture, he puts it up, and boom. And it all makes sense. And, this kid should not be blamed.
Right. John from Bridgewater. Oh, me, oh, my, this happened at New Hartford Central. Tell me it ain't so. What other school districts other than New Hartford are dealing with this? ? And Lance in Lee. Man, oh, man, I always thought Bill saved the softball questions for Presenti and Griffo. I guess his wife's boss gets the T-ball questions. Where was the follow-up question about his wife?
Lance.
Well, he's saying that so there was a previous comment. Where was the follow-up question about his white privilege statement, which Lance took issue with, which I'm trying to pull it back up again. I didn't have the chance to ask that, but he said, did this guy just say people should feel guilty because they are white male? If so, he may want to rethink that position.
That's not what he said, and I didn't think it needed a follow-up. It stood on its own. It didn't need a follow-up. And by the way, I'm not even going to respond to that. Sometimes, Lance, you anger Andrew, and I'm like, Andrew, just let it go. I disagree with that, Andrew. You should be as angry as possible. You should be pissed. Because sometimes he's an idiot. Anything else,
Those are the comments I have.
Yeah.
Oh, and Wayne did say something about the rain. If we can get to something.
Let me do a couple of others. When you investigate why your governor said black children don't know what a computer is. Yeah, that was stupid. I don't know what is, again, being out of touch, not knowing what's going on. Those kids could probably type circles around her on a computer. That would be just my guess. The entire financial system is going to collapse. The fall of Babylon. Things are not political; they're biblical," says John. And then Vic Star says, "Wow, the white guilt flows like a river." No, what he was saying is, and I completely agree with him. If you were brought up in a and it's not all, it isn't all white, it's not all black, it's not all people of color, it's not all minorities, but if you were brought up in it all depends on how you're brought up. And if you're brought up and in your typical white American family, you see
in a predominantly
things
white community.
In a predominantly white community, you see things another way. So it's very difficult for somebody to say, I know based on my experience, because you didn't have the same experience somebody else had. But traditionally and overall, the minorities have had to struggle far more because they're so far behind where everybody else is economically. And that does, but there are many examples of people who are black or brought up in a minority family who have just been hugely successful.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it all comes back to how did your parents bring you up, right? And so I think how I interpreted what Kaz said, this is not protecting my wife's boss. You ever try to get rid of a teacher? I'm not worried about my wife.
Yeah, right.
She can handle herself.
She can handle herself, yeah.
And she's got 5 years till she's reaching the point of retirement.
And
you
shouldn't be opposed.
But my point is, the point that I think he was making is, you think you understand what everybody's thinking, but you were brought up in a different life. And that is what, quote, I feel like white privilege is a nasty term for it, but it is, you've grown up in a different society, in a different world, in a different element. And it is different. Your experience, my experience is different.
Yeah. And you shouldn't be opposed.
So I don't think he was by any means being offensive there. I thought what he said was accurate. He and I both grew up in a different world.
And you shouldn't be opposed to trying to learn about or have a conversation about that.
It takes a situation like this, right, for something to occur. But out of all of this, after all of it's said and done, and after we've talked to everybody on it, I still don't know how in the hell this got passed. Because it seems like it came in stages, how this got passed.
Project from the fall got to the spring art show.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Because I'm going to tell you, if that ended up on our website and we created it or encouraged an intern to create it, I can guarantee you there's no
different morning show.
Ain't no union to protect us. We would be fired. We would absolutely be fired for that. So I'm just saying. I got a break. Can I?
Yes, please.
Okay. We'll come back. You want to pipe in other than sending us messages? Some of them nice, some of them mean. Whatever. I can handle it. 315-736-0186.
Ready to hit the road with confidence this summer? Look no further than Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, your one-stop shop for top quality tires at unbeatable prices. At Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, we believe that safety and savings go hand in hand. That's why we offer the best prices up front on top brands including Summit, Nokia, Bridgestone, and more. With Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, you'll drive away with peace of mind and money in your pocket. Locations in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, and online at tallmanstire.com.
Memorial Day deals are here at Mattress Express. Save up to $500 on select Tempur-Pedic sets and then get up to a $300 prepaid Visa card from Mattress Express. Then take up to 60 months to pay with no money down for qualified buyers on Tempur-Pedic at Mattress Express.
Step into the magic of the 2024 Glimmerglass Festival, where summer comes alive with the finest in opera and musical theater.
The Glimmerglass Festival is a world-class summer celebration of the arts nestled on the banks of beautiful Otsego Lake, just minutes from Cooperstown, making it an easy day trip from anywhere in the Mohawk Valley.
This year's festival runs from July 22nd through August 20th and invites you to immerse yourself in myth, mystery, and adventure with productions that explore the connection between identity and illusion.
From the timeless hilarity of Gilbert and Sullivan's The Pirates of Penzance to the gripping drama of Pagliacci.
Celestial escapades of La Callisto and intriguing mystery of Elizabeth Cree. Experience the magic firsthand.
The Glimmerglass Festival, a highlight of your summer experiences in the Cooperstown region. Hiking, kayaking, picnicking, and world-class opera and musical theater. Just a short drive from anywhere in the Mohawk Valley.
Visit glimmerglass.org to purchase tickets and to learn more about this year's festival. Then join us and see for yourself why there's no place quite like Glimmerglass.
Mountain Man Outdoor Supply Company is excited to announce the return of the 23rd annual Adirondack Paddle Fest. This highly anticipated event will return to Mountain Man Outdoor Supply Company, Route 28 in Old Forge, May 17th through the 19th. Join us for food, craft beer, music, kids activities, vendors, and more. Shop over 1,000 canoes, kayaks, and SUPs from the leading manufacturers and hundreds of accessories to choose from. Representatives and designers will be on hand to help you choose what is best for your paddling needs. Gear up for all your outdoor adventures with discounts on outdoor gear, footwear, and clothing for the whole family. Shop your favorite brands like Patagonia, Teva, North Face, MSR, and more. Follow Mountain Man Outdoor Supply Company on Facebook and Instagram for updates or for all your local outdoor needs.
Hi, this is Bill Cole from Gates Cole Insurance with exciting news. We are expanding with a couple of new offices in our area. One new location is North Country Estates Insurance in Lowville. They are another independent insurance agency that takes pride in making customers happy and fits our culture at Gates Cole perfectly. Here is William Schaub from the newest Gates Cole agency, North Country Estates Insurance in Lowville.
Working with us as an independent agent with this many companies, we will often call our clients and say, we're going to reduce your premium if you like. We have the companies that do well in New York and specifically this area. The coverages that we provide are commercial and personal insurance. That's the home, the auto, ATV, motorcycle. There's nothing more fun than taking care of a customer and being able to tell them that we're able to save them some money.
Proudly representing Finger Lakes Fire and Casualty Company of Trumansburg, New York. Gates Cole Insurance. We'll take care of you.
Get ready for this week's half-off Thursday deal with SeizeTheDeal.com. Score your half-off gift certificate to Utica Barbecue. Today, starting at 8 a.m., get $50 for $25 with Seize the Deal's half-off Thursday. Utica Barbecue at 244 Roosevelt Drive in Utica offers real smoke, real flavor. Like them on Facebook for all of their daily specials. Get your half-off Thursday gift certificates today from Utica Barbecue. Make sure you hurry because they sell out fast at SeizeTheDeal.com.
The only place to get your Memorial Day mattress is at Mattress Express. No one in New York State has all the brands under one roof that Mattress Express has, and listen to these Memorial Day deals. Save up to $800 on select Stearns & Foster sets and get a $200 prepaid Visa card. Save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic sets and get a $300 prepaid Visa card. Save up to $500 on Sealy sets, get a $100 prepaid Visa card. Now, Mattress Express has the largest selection of purple mattresses in upstate New York. We sell for the same price as online, and at Memorial Day deals, you can save up to $800 on a purple set. On top of all that, you get our brand name low price guarantee. If you see the same mattress advertised locally within 30 days after purchase, for less, we'll refund the difference. If that isn't enough, take up to 60 months to pay on anything in the store with no money down for qualified buyers. See store for details.
Are you prepared for the future? Help secure your family's financial well-being with professional guidance. Join us for a complimentary estate planning workshop presented by the DiGiorgio Law Firm with Phil DiGiorgio. Discover the key to creating a customized estate plan to protect assets and minimize taxes. Mark your calendar for 5:30 p.m. May 14th at the office of the DiGiorgio Law Firm, located at 258 Genesee Street in Utica. Space is limited, so RSVP today.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Get ready for this week's half-off Thursday deal with SeizeTheDeal.com. Score your half-off gift certificate to Utica Barbecue today, starting at 8 a.m. Get $50 for $25 with Seize the Deal's half-off Thursday. Utica Barbecue at 244 Roosevelt Drive in Utica offers real smoke, real flavor. Like them on Facebook for all of their daily specials. Get your half-off Thursday gift certificates today from Utica Barbecue. Make sure you hurry because they sell out fast at SeizeTheDeal.com.
There's no glory in getting beat up on the job. Aches and pains aren't trophies. They're just barriers keeping pros like you from getting work done. But Ferris commercial mowers at Clinton Tractor help you finish strong and feel good doing it with patented suspension technology. Visit Clinton Tractor today for a test drive and feel the Ferris difference. Or go to clintontractor.net. Ferris, work hard, feel good.
We are the leader in service, Clinton Tractor.
Hey, River Hills Properties is the fastest growing real estate company in all of Central New York, and it's all about the services provided. When they began, they just wanted to offer up more help to people who are trying to sell their homes. And it started with the lockbox. They don't use the lockbox. They want to be there to be able to set the house up, make sure the lights are on, the house is ready to be shown. That first look, that first impression, Andrew, means everything when talking about buying a home, right?
That's all you have.
When you walk through the door, it's that visual that you have. Something's going to stick with you, and you want to make it the best you possibly can in order to sell the home.
If I put the shoe on the buyer's agent foot, nothing drives me crazier or makes me look more dumb than when I'm going into a house. I don't know where the light switches are. I don't know how to turn it on.
And that's a part
Everything
of this.
looks dark.
Oftentimes with the lockbox, it allows him to open that up, take the key out, and go in and take somebody through the home without you there, without the seller there, without anybody there. And, who knows? Everything from bad impression to not finding the light switch to going through the medicine cabinet. It's all there. It all exists. It's the River Hills way. They don't allow that to happen. Your listing agent is there every single time the house is shown. They have offices in Barneville, Little Falls, Rome, and Utica. Online, it's riverhillspropertiesllc.com. Check it out, River Hills Properties, with a new TV show called Sold in upstate New York, a real estate program for our area, Mohawk Valley, Utica, Rome, and the Adirondacks. Right here. It's Saturdays at 2 p.m. on WPNY and on Fox Sundays at 8 a.m. and 11:30 p.m. and always on YouTube, called Sold in Upstate New York.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, I guess I can go to Rick over there, who's going to kind of do a little introduction for us here this morning. We have
what a triumphant grand entrance. I guess we can go to
Rick.
I
guess we'll go with Rick. I guess we will. Yeah. By the way, I have a ton more comments, but I'm going to we're going to get into something different, and I'll wrap with all the comments. We have a lot of people.
Well, yeah, we're
piping in.
Big fun at the Capitol for Saturday night at CNY On Stage Live. And right here in the studio to do a little talk and performance is Sydney Irving, who is the host of the show, and also her band, The Mojo, will be performing, along with about a dozen other acts.
Nice. Yeah. Well, we want to say good morning, Sydney, and thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. We're super excited for this weekend. We're actually going to be in Verona, New York at the Turning Stone Casino tomorrow night, and then we're going to be at the Rome Capitol Theater on Saturday, and it's going to be a fun one.
You got a busy weekend then.
Yeah, it's it'll be a good one though. 2 band shows and
nice.
Yeah.
All right, tell me a little bit about you, just in a nutshell.
Sure. So I started writing songs when I was about 12 years old, and I learned guitar a year or two earlier. I grew up in Syracuse, New York, and I've been playing live since I was probably 13, and it's just my favorite thing to do. And I just released my latest album called Unfashioned Creatures just last October, and yeah, we have the full band, and I also do acoustic stuff as well.
So if you become famous, will you become pretentious? I don't think you will. Just by talking to you, I don't think you will.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Knock on wood.
I just saw the Joan Jett shirt, and I remember I had the privilege of introducing Joan Jett at Vernon Downs several years ago when she was performing there, and the producer came up to me and said, "Don't make eye contact with her."
Oh, no.
Really?
Don't ask her any questions.
So unfortunately, I did go on mic and say, I was told I can't make eye contact with Joan Jett, but here she is. But I don't think you'll be that person.
Well, thank you. I hope not.
I don't think you will.
Hopefully you don't get to a point where if you date a particular tight end in the NFL that everybody will start hating you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We won't get into your opinion about all of that. But what are you going to do? So I'm told you have an original and a cover. Is that correct?
Yes. So I'm going to play you my latest single. It's called Find Me.
All right.
And then I got a cover song for you.
All right. Let's do it. Sydney Irving.
You expect me to walk through your door and look you in the eyes like you never crossed my mind. And it's hard, but I'll try. I didn't say I wouldn't try. Come on, sit next to me. If that's the closest I can be to you, I won't lie. I hoped you'd come and find me. Find me. After all, we both know better. It's plain to say that we'll never, as we don't even know each other. Plus I've already got a lover. Come on, sit next to me. If that's the closest I can be to you, I won't lie. I hoped you'd come and find me. Find me. And say, darling, I hope you know I don't want to let you go. And I've still got that photograph, how you signed your name on the back. Come on, sit next to me. If that's the closest I can be to you, I won't lie. I hoped you'd come and find me. Find me. And say, darling, I hope you know I don't want to let you go.
Wow, that was really, 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 really good.
Thank you.
Nice job. All right, you want to do, and you're, again, this is Saturday night. Rick, we start at what time Saturday? 7 o'clock on Saturday night.
7 o'clock. It's going to be a good one. We're
at
super
the Rome
excited.
Capitol. And then tomorrow night, what time are you going to be at the Turning Stone?
We start at 10 o'clock.
Where will you be tomorrow?
We're going to be at the Gig.
At the Gig. Oh, you're
Yep.
at the Gig. That's
Yep.
cool. All right.
It is, yeah. So we got a special set all worked up with the full band. And,
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Let's do one more.
All right, yeah, so I just got back from Nashville. I was down there working on some new things that I can't talk about very much, but I figure I should do a country song for you. This is called Jolene.
Oh, love this song.
Great.
Jolene, 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 I'm begging of you, please don't take my man. Jolene, 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 please don't take him just because you can. Your beauty is beyond compare, flaming locks of auburn hair and ivory skin, eyes of emerald grain. Your smile is like a breath of spring, your voice is soft like summer rain, and I cannot compete with you. Jolene, he talks about you in his sleep. There's nothing I can do to keep from crying when he calls your name. Jolene, and I could easily understand how you could easily take my man, but you don't know what he means to me. Jolene, 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 I'm begging of you, please don't take my man. Jolene, 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 please don't take him just because you can. You could have your choice, a man I could never love again. He's the only one for me. Jolene, I had to have this talk with you. My happiness depends on you, whatever you decide to do. Jolene, 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 I'm begging of you, please don't take my man. Jolene, 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 please don't take him just because you can.
Wow. That was so good.
Thank you so much.
So
Wow,
good.
great version,
Yeah.
great sound. Wow.
Love it.
Wow.
It's CNY on Stage Live. It happens Saturday night, 7 p.m. at the Capitol Theater in Rome. You will be hosting, and your band will be playing, and you got a full weekend of action.
We do, yeah. It's going to be a good one. Thank you so much for having us on.
Thank
and
you.
we want to send a big shout out to Grace Musicians Group, Breed Love Guitars, RT Customs, and the Capitol Theater for having us.
Awesome. Tomorrow night at the Turning Stone at the Gig. You can check her out as well. Awesome job. Sydney Irving, thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll break and come back here at WIBX.
With summer just around the corner, wouldn't it be great to have AC? You deserve to have air conditioning in your home. And no, I'm not talking about those clunky window units. I'm Jen from Standard, and my team is here to help. Regardless of the type of home you have or your income, we can install AC and make sure you stay comfortable this summer. And even better, in many cases, rebates and incentives significantly reduce the cost, or you could even get it for free. Call Standard Heating, Cooling, and Insulating today at 315-859-6292. We promise to save you money.
Are you sick of being just a number or doing a mindless job? Become a craftsman in a trade. Become an IBEW electrician. The IBEW and the Electrician Training Alliance will give you all the tools necessary at their state-of-the-art training facility. Earn as you learn. Paid training while you get your certification. What are you waiting for? Become an IBEW Local 43 electrician. Call or go online today to learn more. Find your career at IBEW and let the Electrician Training Alliance light up your future.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Thinking of a purple mattress this Memorial Day? Mattress Express has the largest selection and save up to $800 on select purple sets. Take up to 60 months to pay with no money down for qualified buyers on $1,500 or higher purchases.
Utica's first cannabis dispensary is local, licensed, and now open to all. Exit 31 Exotic is your home for edibles, flower, vapes, and all your cannabis needs. Visit Exit 31 Exotic at 255 Genesee Street or online at uticacannabisco.com.
For use only by adults 21 years of age or older. Keep out of reach of children and pets. In case of accidental ingestion or overconsumption, contact the National Poison Control Center hotline 1-800-222-1222 or call 911. Please consume responsibly. License number OCMCAURD 2400076.
Ready to hit the road with confidence this summer? Look no further than Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, your one-stop shop for top quality tires at unbeatable prices. At Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, we believe that safety and savings go hand in hand. That's why we offer the best prices up front on top brands including Summit, Nokia, Bridgestone, and more. For an auto repair, you'll drive away with peace of mind and money in your pocket. Locations in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, and online at tallmanstire.com.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right. Man, she was really good, wasn't she?
Wow, unbelievable.
Steve Ponte Mazda, we should put her and Ricky Z together and just think about what that would be like.
What a great combo.
Steve Ponte Mazda, the Move to Mazda sales event is back. Drive a new 2024 Mazda CX-30 select sport model for only $275 a month on a 36-month lease, or save with low APR financing, 0%, 1.9%, 2.9%, 3.9% on select award-winning new 2024 Mazdas. See the dealership for details. And as Rick says, let's make your deal on a new Mazda. From Steve Ponte Mazda, achieved first place nationally in customer satisfaction. Steve Ponte Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville. Also, the official coffee of this radio program comes from Daylight Donuts. So you're on the arterial, Commercial Drive, arterial, and you just bob right off there in New Hartford. You be out on your way, boom, you have your amazing matcha latte.
And their breakfast sandwich.
And I didn't realize this, but matcha is green tea.
Oh, by definition?
It's powdered.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Matcha is powder. I didn't know that either.
We're learning a lot about this
I've been digging in all the investigations, the documentaries on this Japanese matcha green tea. Pumpkin lattes. They have the Almond Joy, just 14, 15 different flavors. Check them all out at Daylight Donuts, where the drive-thru is very, very fast. You're in, you're out, you're on your way. All right, I know you wanted to get to a bunch of these comments. We did hear from Kaz Tangora a little while back, and he's somebody said they thought he was I think he's angry and frustrated that after all the things that are done, that we're still dealing with stuff like this. Mm-hmm. And maybe it's something as innocent as people just don't know that what was done with that art piece, monkey cereal, and then bringing in LeBron James. And if you don't know the history of it, something probably you should. And that is a good example of how we learn from history, right? And why eliminating history, which some states are doing, is not a good idea. Obviously, you got to get it right? But at the same time, we learn from the things that we have done in this country. Many, many great things, but there are some things that haven't been great. And you learn from those so they don't happen again. That's just my little take on all of it. which is worth 2 cents. So that's not even a cup of coffee.
So we do have a bunch more comments.
All right.
They're
I got
lighting them up.
here.
They're lighting them up. Nobody wants to call in, but we've got the app as an option. Deeds in New Hartford.
Hate that.
Happy.
Hate that.
I know. What have we come to? Deeds in New Hartford. Happy was a bad choice, but he didn't seem as concerned as he should.
I know him. I vehemently disagree. And maybe it's lost in translation between YouTube and on the radio or however you heard it. He was sitting 5 feet from me, and Andrew, would you agree? He is extremely distraught over this.
He's distraught, concerned, and he's having to deal with this now that it's gone to national levels, and his job's only going to get more difficult from here.
But ultimately, he kept focus on one thing, and that is
doing better.
The community, the school, the staff, everybody. We want to walk away from this in a better place.
Somebody commented in the parents should not be teaching all the old racist things that people said in the past. Kaz did know what happened before he put out his first communication. If you read my first message, you will see what really happened. It was nothing about the child not liking art, as you stated.
Again, I don't know, and I don't know the kid. We haven't announced the kid. I have no clue. But it does seem like he was, every time he came back, he was told he had to get something else.
Yeah, it's not like we were blaming the kid.
No, and then all of a sudden he finds this basketball picture. At least that's the way it was described to us. So, but I don't think you need to your kid. You don't have to bring up stuff to your kids. They're going to get it. They're going to find it. They're going to hear it, and they're going to say it, and then hopefully that becomes a teachable moment. But if you, I'm sorry. I just don't. A lot of this stuff comes from home. And I'm not saying it does in this particular case, but a lot of it does. In other cases. Maybe not this case, but other cases.
I'll just say this. There was probably a lot of different steps and processes and people who saw it and eyes that were laid upon this project before it should have ended up in public viewing.
Not necessarily according to Dr. Tangora, right? He said it was him and the student and the teacher all along. I don't know. Maybe there were more. Somebody had to hang it, right?
Yep.
So maybe you're right.
This is Dave from Cary, North Carolina. The advice about cutting up credit cards is bad advice. The only rules for credit cards are pay them off each month and pay them on time. You can't do any business online with cash. Plan and pay your bills.
Your credit score will go down if you close out a credit card.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Lance and Lee again.
I've told my wife that all the time. She doesn't believe me. I don't even know if it's true, to be honest, Davey. I don't know, but I don't want to get rid of that card.
Not going to do it. Not going to do it. Lance and Lee. Andrew, if I had to guess, 75% of your listeners are white males. I wonder how many of them feel privileged. I rewatched his interview, and he blatantly said that he and other white men are privileged. After working hard 40-plus years, I don't know exactly where my privilege was. Maybe it's because I'm an idiot. LOL, in my history, I find that when someone is confronted with a question or statement they don't like, they usually respond with name-calling or insults.
So it's not a name-calling thing, and without getting into it, if I grew up the same way. My father worked at Remington Arms, but we had both parents in the house. We had dinner every night at the table. We didn't get in trouble in school. It was a different lifestyle. We went on vacation, but not, McDonald's at one point was a good night out for dinner in my family. Big Jim Subs down in Herkimer was awesome. Mm-hmm. I craved that place. But what he's saying is, stop listening to the term. What he's saying is you can't base what somebody else experiences on your personal experience, because you may very well have been brought up differently in a completely different culture. And that could mean one person, one African-American, isn't brought up the same way that another African-American is. That it doesn't have to be just white, but it's the term they've chosen, and I don't think it's a good term necessarily.
Wayne, that guy...
It creates people to say, I'm not racist. Why are you saying I'm not white? We worked hard. I'm not privileged. Give me a break. That's what that creates. Yeah. I get it. I understand.
Wayne, that guy talks about New Hartford and acts like they have a lot of African Americans. You can count on two hands how many they have each year.
You would be surprised to find that New Hartford is far more diverse than you would think. Whether it be with African Americans or different cultures, Indian students, it's more than you would think.
This is from Nagel. Always putting a smile on her face. The maturation of your understanding of matcha has been quite a roller coaster.
It's incredible, yeah. I still don't get it, Nagel. I don't even know. I think it came from Japan or something. I have no idea. I have no clue.
It is Japanese. And former mayor of Little Falls, Mark Blass. Kaz Tangora is the epitome of a great leader. New Hartford is lucky to have such a smart, engaged person at the helm.
Ross Bartell, are you talking about the Mark Montgomery story? Yes, we will post that story. Ross says, changing the culture, yes, it's badly needed, but it's extremely difficult and a lengthy process. Regardless, every effort must be put into that concept. You have a wonderful young child at home who spends part of his day in front of a teacher who might be teaching proper culture and diversity, but that child might be exposed to just the opposite by his parents, who have a much deeper impact on the child's development. The question is, how do we change the culture in a much more efficient, impactful manner? Ross Bartell. And Ross, exactly what I was trying to say, but you did it much better than I did. So,
and then Lance and Lee said the previous comment was about Bill calling me an idiot.
Okay. What was his previous comment?
About how when confronted with something that people usually name calling.
Name calling. All right. You're just lesser than, Lance. You're just lesser than. I guess that's a label, too. No, listen, all I'm saying is you have a great way of pissing us off, Lance, sometimes.
And conservative John in Boonville.
And when you write the stuff you write, you know what you're doing. Yeah, you know what's going to make.
He's like Mr. Nice Guy.
I normally don't get angry, but Andrew gets all upset.
Yeah, no, you don't.
All right, quickly, and I have John Decker.
I have a 6-year-old. This is from Deeds in New Hartford. I have a 6-year-old in New Hartford. A few weeks ago, he came home and asked his mother and I what the N-word meant. He heard a classmate at school saying it several times. I almost fell over when my son asked us what it meant. Completely shocked. It 100% comes from home. It's disgusting. He brought home an invitation to this child's B-Day party the other day. Unfortunately, we won't allow our son to go to it, and it's really not the child's fault, but the child will pay for the way his parents are raising him. Absolutely disgusting.
So that was my point, that I didn't say you should sit your kids down and talk about all the stereotypes and bad words, and I didn't say that. But your kids are going to get them from wherever they go. It's going to come home, and hopefully, most parents are saying, okay, we don't say that, versus come over here and you give daddy a high five.
Yeah. And okay. Conservative John about Sidney Irving, that was fantastic. More of that and less of monkey cereal, please.
Okay. Sidney was really good, wasn't she?
Phenomenal.
Here's John Decker, who I can guarantee you will be very good. John Decker, good morning.
Hey there, Bill. Hope you're having a great week so far.
It's been an interesting one.
Yeah. Okay.
John is Chief White House Correspondent with Gray TV. He's also an attorney, so all of what is going on right now is very, very interesting, especially in the Trump camp. But let's start with the one who draws boos. How impolite. Marjorie Taylor Greene yesterday. What are your thoughts?
Well, it's very interesting to me that she went through with this because she got a phone call over the weekend from Donald Trump, leader of the Republican Party, someone she's very loyal to, and he said essentially to her, cool it, lay off. I want Mike Johnson as the House Speaker. I need him as the House Speaker. And she went along with this effort. And this is after having 2 straight days of meetings with Mike Johnson, went through with this effort to try to oust him from the speakership, but she lost miserably. And that was pretty remarkable. Overwhelming number of both Democrats and Republicans supported Mike Johnson continuing in his role as Speaker of the House of Representatives. And Marjorie Taylor Greene right now is very weakened because of this failed effort on her part.
Yeah, I was I thought she would have walked away. She's saying, though, she spoke with her constituents, and that's what they wanted. I highly doubt that.
Yeah, I mean, look, she is someone who is more focused on herself and her clicks and all of the things associated with social media, raising money for herself, than she is in terms of advocating for the agenda of the House Republicans, the Speaker of the House. She's still mad over the fact that the House Speaker put that bill to provide additional funding for Ukraine on the House floor. But most members, they don't win every vote, and they get over it. They don't work to oust the Speaker if they don't get their way.
Let me switch to President Biden is now talking about pausing arms delivery to Israel. We're not agreeing with every move Netanyahu makes. So we're going to possibly not send them the bombs that they need. What are your thoughts here?
Well, certainly you got a lot of pushback from Republicans like Speaker Johnson, like national security hawk like Lindsey Graham, saying this is no way to treat our most trusted and loyal ally in the Middle East, state of Israel, which has been dealing with quite a bit over the course of the last few months. This attack from Iran, Hezbollah, of course, Hamas, and now you're denying them a shipment of weaponry that the Congress voted to convey to Israel. So not a lot of pleased people for those who are strong supporters of Israel. But what President Biden said in his remarks in an interview that he did with CNN is that as long as Israel continues with contemplating going into Rafah in southern Gaza, we are not going to provide these munitions to him, which includes 2,000-pound bombs. That is something that I'm sure he's conveyed to Prime Minister Netanyahu privately before saying that publicly on CNN.
John Decker, as always, thank you. I'm up against a hard break, and have a wonderful week. We'll speak again next week.
Thank you so much, Bill. You too. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much.
On behalf of IBEW Local 43 Union Electricians and the NECA Contractors, we are pleased to partner with Syracuse University in providing our members with an opportunity to enhance their education at this great university.
Syracuse University's partnership with the IBEW will provide talented students the opportunity to advance their careers while shaping the future of the electrical trades and the industries they serve.
Central New York's future is bright, and the IBEW Local 43 and NECA will continue to help light, power, and grow Central New York.
Everybody thinks when you buy new windows, you just rip the old one out, stick the new one in, and voila, you're done. Nope, not the case at all. Scott and Jill here from New York Sash.
The truth is, over 50% of the time, the window frame that you pulled that old window out of has all kinds of problems, and it needs to be repaired at a minimum, and a lot of times, completely replaced.
If you just stick a beautiful new window in an old, messed up frame, you're asking for problems.
And guess what? Most of the companies just use the old rip and stick method. It's easier, faster, and cheaper.
At New York Sash, we carefully inspect the frame for rot, bug damage, messed up trim, and fix it or replace it.
Hey, do it right or don't do it at all.
Call New York Sash now and get 15% off windows, doors, or bathrooms. 315-624-7344 or online at newyorksash.com. That's newyorksash.com. Utica's first cannabis dispensary is local, licensed, and now open to all. Exit 31 Exotic is your home for edibles, flower, vapes, and all your cannabis needs. Visit Exit 31 Exotic at 255 Genesee Street or online at uticacannabisco.com.
For use only by adults 21 years of age or older. Keep out of reach of children and pets. In case of accidental ingestion or overconsumption, contact the National Poison Control Center hotline 1-800-222-1222 or call 911. Please consume responsibly. License number OCMCAURD 2400.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome.
W295EI.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
President Biden's warning on weapons. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. He says shipments of large bombs to Israel will stop if a large-scale military operation is launched in a city where more than 1 million Palestinians are taking shelter.
President Biden is withholding certain offensive weapons so that Israel cannot use them to stage a ground assault on the city of Rafah in southern Gaza. The president telling CNN,
civilians have been killed in Gaza as a consequence of those bombs and other ways in which they go after population centers.
The Biden administration has been pressuring Israel not to move into Rafah. The president says the U.S. will continue to supply Israel with defensive weapons. In Washington, Jack Callahan, Fox News.
Biden administration is expected to announce new rules for asylum-seeking migrants.
It could possibly speed up deportations, would apply to those migrants seeking asylum, essentially allowing denials at the initial screening stage as opposed to the interview stage of the asylum process, and this would impact national security rules.
Fox's Mark Meredith at the White House. Former adult film star Stormy Daniels is expected back on the stand this morning at former President Trump's criminal hush money trial.
She testified about meeting the former president at that celebrity golf tournament in Lake Tahoe in 2006, then going to a suite for dinner and then having sex. Prosecutors calling her to prove that Trump had a motive a decade later in 2016 to silence her when he ran for president. The DA's case rests on that allegation that Trump paid her off through Michael Cohen to hide her story, so voters would not find out about that alleged dalliance that the former president denies. The defense is trying to undermine Stormy's credibility and cast her as an extortionist who once, remember, denied the affair.
That's Fox's Eric Shawn outside the courthouse in New York City. Weekly jobless claims have jumped to 231,000. That's the highest figure since August. America's listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest costing